Be our guest, be our guest, put our service to the test.
Yeah,
Wear your napkin, run your luxury, and we'll provide the rest. For after all, we live to serve.
What's the grace?
Service here is never second best.
Try the grace stuff. That's delicious.
Go on and raise your glass. You know you want free pass, right?
Be our guest.
We are guest. Be our guest.
Sing, sing, sing. Dance. After all, business is first.
Yeah.
Is this really what we're going with?
We might want to record a backup in case that sounds horrible.
You know what? We run this. This is our intro. And if this is bad, just cut to me saying this. Sorry, there's no cold open. We recorded something and it was terrible.
It
Enjoy
sounds
the
terrible.
episode. And you can keep that in even if we do keep it.
Love that.
Welcome, everybody, to the DCOM Duo podcast.
I'm BenG.
I'm Kelsey.
And we're the DCOM duo.
Quad. No. Yeah, wait.
Well, I just said duo.
Quadcast.
The quadcast is awesome.
This is the first time we have not one guest, but two guests, right?
Yeah, because for Descendants 1, we had to get 2 guests. Just wait for Descendants 2.
We're going to have 3. Anyway. Today we are joined by Bay once again, who's been on the podcast a few times.
It's me.
And her boyfriend, Dillon.
Hello.
Hey,
Dylan's also here, fan of Descendants.
fan of Disney Channel original movies. You want to give us your rundown on your history with Disney Channel original movies?
Watched them as a kid. Never looked back at them again. Met these fine folks as they were going through all of them
Yes.
and started doing the same thing.
Yeah, you kind of started on your own because you lived out of state, so you would come and visit us
Yep.
every once in a while, and you would come with like your updated list.
Yep.
Like, here's the ones I've watched. Here's
Pretty
my
much.
ranking.
And I've gotten through probably like 30 or 40 of them and then stopped.
Weak sauce. No, I'm kidding.
That's
fair.
a lot.
That's a lot still. And yeah, so your reaction on Descendants? Did you watch that one by yourself? I don't remember.
I think I watched it with Bay.
Yeah, I think we watched
We
it.
loved it.
Yeah.
I watched Descendants I've watched it so many times and I've showed it to so many people.
Yeah.
So I do think we watched it
I'm
together.
pretty sure it was on one of the trips where you came down to visit me.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, let's watch it. It's up high on the list of DCOMs you had ranked
Oh,
at the
yeah.
time. So I was like, sure,
Yeah.
let's go through
I
it.
think it was number 1 at the time
It might have been.
'Cause-
because we watched it really early.
It was pretty early, yeah.
'Cause, yeah, I was like, premise sounds interesting. Well, sure, let's watch it.
Heck yeah. I had pretty low expectations because I don't know. I thought the concept was
This
kind of cringe.
is a concept that could easily fall on its face, be incredibly cringeworthy, and just not even interesting.
Yeah,
But you got Kenny Ortega directing it.
and that's what
And
makes
that's
it
just going to make it much better immediately. There's someone who knows how this stuff works for kids' video.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got us 4 here, which is perfect because this is the squad that's going to the Descendants Zombies World Collide tour.
Let's go.
We are like mid to late 20s, early 30s. We will be in the back of the stadium with all these children listening to Descendants and Zombies music, and it's going to be amazing.
And we're going to be screaming the lyrics.
We're going to know all of them, all the new songs from Rise of Red and Zombies 4. We don't care. Like, we know them. And I think they're also going to do it like the zombies do.
Will
Oh,
we
yeah.
make a podcast on this? Maybe.
Maybe we'll make like a TikTok.
Yeah.
I think we make like a TikTok that like, hey, we're here. Look at us.
I do kind of want to give a review, but we don't maybe do a full podcast for that.
Yeah.
Do it like 10-minute thing. And
Anyway, yeah.
that's totally relevant to this because it's Descendants, but they're not going to play a single one of those songs.
No.
They might do Rotten to the Core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do Ride to the Core. I don't know. We'll see.
I think our guest is going to be their opening.
Just like us.
Yep.
I feel like they could do some kind of mashup of all of the ending songs from all the Descendants.
Maybe. Or the openings.
Or the openings,
I think
yeah.
the openings would
I
be
think
more.
either of those
Yeah.
would pop off, honestly.
All the openings are like, we're the evil kids. Like
Yeah.
that's all three of them. So yeah, anyway. So yeah, today we're talking about Descendants, obviously. I don't think do we have fan mail? We had a comment.
We do have fan mail,
Yeah.
yes.
We had a comment on YouTube.
My computer wants me to restart, and I'm not going to. Yeah, we had a comment on our Alley Cat Strike episode saying from the classic Micah McBurney.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, hi, Micah McBurney. The dude who missed a few episodes since I was in camp. My bad, y'all. Anyways, sorry, help me see and Disney corporate Greek fridge calendar to you two goats. And then in asterisk 3, because we had Finch on that episode. Thank you, Micah. Appreciate the comment.
Hope you had fun at camp.
I really like the Alley Cat Strike episode. I thought it was fun.
Thought it was fun. It was a good time.
It's a good movie.
I want to know what camp you went to. Or like what kind of camp, not where.
Yeah. I don't know. Cool. So we have so much to talk about with Descendants. Not only just the movie, and we love it, but like the longest factos BenG has ever written.
I did the facts for this episode. These are the longest factors that I wrote. A lot of this is copied from other stuff, but like I didn't half-ass this. So this movie released July 31st, 2015. We are approaching rapidly the 10-year anniversary of this movie.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, in a month.
Yeah.
In a month it'll be the 10-year anniversary of
Our concert is
it's a couple weeks after.
It's like 4 days after.
That week.
It's that week.
That's crazy.
It's August 4th.
What if they do something special?
Oh my god, that'd be insane. Is that why they're going on tour? But they're also doing zombies.
They're going on tour for money.
That's the fine.
Yeah, what? Take my money. Go ahead.
I'm willing to pay.
This was the 98th DCOM.
2 away from 100.
Yeah.
You know who's in the 100? Sophia Carson.
Yeah. But let's not talk about her. We're going to start talking about Kenny Ortega. Kenny Ortega, if you didn't know, directed High School Musical, the whole franchise.
Yeah.
And he did also, the whole Descendants franchise. And he also did Cheetah Girls 2. So just for as much as we talk about like Dwayne Dunham and Paul Hohen as these like tigs, no, it's Kenny Ortega.
It's Kenny Ortega.
He has the biggest franchises for sure.
He makes the best ones. Well, he makes the best musicals for sure.
Yeah.
And no offense to Paul, because he did do zombies, but these are better.
Yeah. He also choreographed like all of those.
Yeah. Choreographer.
He is actually an extremely like valued, iconic choreographer.
Yeah.
One of the biggest of all time. He did make famous things, Same Elmo's Fire, Pretty in Pink, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Dirty Dancing. He's done Super Bowls. He's done the Olympics. He won an Emmy for choreographing and directing the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
He's done a ton of stuff. He's also for other movies and stuff. He did the Newsies movie, the Hocus Pocus movies. He's done Michael Jackson, This Is It. He did a bunch of concerts as well, such as like the Hannah Montana Miley Cyrus. He's done Cher's concerts, done Michael Jackson's concerts. He's done Gloria Stefan's concerts. Yeah. So I don't feel like we have to go on and on. If you know this podcast, we talk about Kenny Ortega all the time, even when he's not relevant.
We worship him.
He is iconic and was the moment and kind of still is.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
He won a Directors Guild Association award for this, as well as for High School Musical 1. Those are, I believe, his only DGA wins. But he has won Emmys for High School Musical as well for choreography, which is interesting. Primetime Emmys are hard to win for Disney Channel stuff.
Yeah.
It's not really prime time. I mean, like,
yeah,
they kind of are.
It aired prime time.
Debut prime time. Yeah.
It's weird with kids media.
Yeah.
Kids media just usually doesn't qualify because they're usually lower budget cable TV. But yeah. And now for the cast. I didn't mention this. Basically, all of them except the adults, like the parents, the evil parents, are in all of the Descendants films.
1 through 3.
Yeah.
Rise of Red.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, Rise of Red is weird.
Rise of Red is weird. We'll get to that in months. The long story short is I have been racking my brain for an actual concise opinion on that film, and I still haven't found it. But it is arguably the worst film I've ever seen, despite the fact that I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
And I can't disagree.
It's the most fundamentally flawed film I've ever watched.
Yeah, that's a discussion for another time.
But that's a discussion for a couple years
for hours about that.
I will not be able to discuss that in a completely concise way. So when we get to that, that'll be exciting. All right. Playing the role of Mal, daughter of Maleficent.
Yeah.
I'm going to mention who everyone is. If you don't know, the concept of Descendants is all of these Disney characters from the classic Disney animated films not smushed together into like a single world.
Yeah.
And then these are largely stories about their kids.
And what was so fun about watching these movies for the first time was picking up on this naming scheme that like every
Yes.
kid is named somehow related to their parent. So Mal is the daughter of Maleficent.
Mhm.
And it all goes like that. And sometimes it's really obvious like that, where it's like basically the same name, and sometimes it's just a letter.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's no relation. Like one time it was like it doesn't make any sense. So as we go through here, I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to play along on the podcast, but if you're watching the movies for the first time, it's really fun to be like, either you get the parent name first and you try to figure out their name, or you get the kid's name and you're like, wait, who's their parent? It's a fun little game to play.
So playing the role of Mal is Dove Cameron.
Love her.
She was in Cloud 9 as another DCOM. Those are this and then the Descendants trilogy.
Hell yeah.
She had the main roles of Liv and Maddie, playing the dual roles of the twins.
Yeah, she was both.
She had, don't get it confused. She did both. She won a daytime Emmy for that award role.
Wow.
She slays.
Yeah. I do think she's actually quite good at acting. I kind of wish we got to see her act more often, but she's really been pushing more of a music career as of late. And her song Boyfriend got big in 2022, peaked at number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100. She has a new album that's coming out like within weeks
Oh wow.
of our recording of this, and she's like about to open for Dua Lipa's UK tour that's going on like right now in July and June. So yeah, all that's kind of interesting. Other notable film roles she's had is Dumplin', Barely Lethal, and Vengeance, and she had notable TV roles on Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Marvel Rising.
I have a fun fact about Dove Cameron.
What?
I recently watched an interview that she did where she was talking about like being cast on Disney for the first time. She was discussing how like her vibe is a lot more dark. And how like when she auditioned for Liv and Maddie, like for Disney, they were like, this isn't quite what we're looking for. And so she really thought she didn't get it. And then so they call her and are like, oh, yeah, so not only did we cast you, but you're playing twins. So she was like very surprised because she was like, I'm not what Disney wants.
Yeah.
But yeah, just watching this movie, I'm like, this is her. This is
What
her.
she wanted to do.
This is her wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she does fantastic in this movie. I think she is the best part of this movie.
She's so good.
And I think that's true basically of the whole series. Maybe not in 3.
Eh,
Three, the character writing of her annoys me a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of 2 a little bit too, but in this movie she's written in a way I'm cool with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Dove Cameron. We'll talk all about these more as we go through the film as well, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Playing the role of Carlos, the son of Cruella de Vil, is Cameron Boyce. He was on Jesse. He was one of the main cast on that. He was the titular role. He was Jake in Jake and the Neverland Pirates.
No way.
Wait. Wow.
Yeah.
We literally didn't know that.
I
He had
didn't know
a lead role in Disney XD's Gamer's Guide to Pretty Much Everything.
Slay.
He was one of the main kids in the Grown Ups films, the Adam Sandler films.
I
He was
do
Adam
remember
Sandler
that.
and Salma Hayek's kid.
Wow.
in there. Yeah. And then tragically, we got to mention it. He died at the age of 20, right before Descendants 3 premiered.
So
He
sad.
had complications with epilepsy and passed away suddenly. It's very tragic. Like, he had a lot of talent within him. He's incredible within these films, and I feel like he does a really good job. Great dancing, great acting, good comedic timing,
Yeah, great energy.
great energy within all of there.
Yeah.
And it's
You
really
just-
sad because he could have done a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, you can just
Yeah.
tell he's just like such a sweet kid.
Yeah. He was
So
like
talented.
just starting to break out of the Disney Channel bubble
Yeah.
when like he died. He had posthumous roles in Run and Paradise City that were pretty big and decently well received. He was right about to star in another Adam Sandler film, Hubie Halloween,
Mhm.
and like that was right about to start filming when he died. And that film got dedicated to him when it did release.
That's sweet.
So yeah, it's tragic, it's sad, and it's something that like a real talent gets lost within there.
Mhm.
And we've seen all these child stars within Disney Channel. There's so many ones that we get like impressed with, and some have these incredible bombastic careers. Some fizzle out, but like it's sad to not get to know, and it's sad, of course, for him. Like he had a bright future ahead of him,
Yeah.
and at a minimum, he should have been able to enjoy the royalties of making a huge franchise like this.
And like even the Descendants 3 premiere and like
Yeah.
enjoying that. It's just so sad.
So it's pretty sad. Playing the role of Jay, the son of Jafar, is Boo Boo Stewart. He's in the Twilight films, specifically Eclipse and Both Breaking Dawns.
Heck yeah, he plays Seth.
He's awesome. I love him in Twilight.
Love because I always loved his character reading the books.
Yeah.
And then Boo Boo's story is so fun in the movies.
Yeah.
He was also in X-Men Days of Future Past. He played Warpath. I don't know the X-Men franchise well to know how big of a character Warpath is,
Not that big of a character, in my
Okay.
opinion, but
but he is like a notable role within that movie.
yes.
Yeah. He had a main role on Good Trouble, which was the sequel show to The Fosters.
Oh.
He apparently toured with Hannah Montana and the Jonas Brothers, as well as the Camp Rock concert series.
Doing what?
Probably dancing,
Dancing?
I would presume. I couldn't find for a fact what was happening.
That's like before Descendants.
The wildest fact I personally thought I found on this whole facto search was apparently couldn't find any documentation on this other than his actual Wikipedia page saying it without a source. But he recorded he sang the opening theme song for the Disney Channel games, the 2008 version.
Disney Channel games.
Just specifically the 2008.
Yeah.
Why?
I
That was
don't-
also before Descendants.
Yes,
What the heck?
significantly before.
Did you listen to it?
I know. I'm not going to fact check this in the slightest.
Can I pull it up?
I'm not gonna fact check. Oh my
I want to
god.
listen to it and see if it sounds like Boo Boo.
And then finally, I also mentioned he had recurring roles on Lab Rats, which is a Disney Channel show, and Julie and the Phantoms, which was a Kenny Ortega product. So some other connections with him there.
Wait, is that Boo Boo's story? It is. Holy crap! Wait a minute. Wait.
This just sounds like a little guy. I think that's him.
I can kind of hear it.
Holy shit!
I don't-
That's Boo Boo.
I'm glad I didn't fact check that because it's much better to get the reaction live.
That's crazy.
That's crazy,
Our jumper
yeah.
on the floor.
Literally.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that's Boo Boo Stewart. Playing the role of Evie, daughter of, yes, Evil Queen. Classic. From Snow White, if you didn't know.
Yeah, so Snow White, the evil queen, doesn't have a real name. Her name is Evil Queen.
Her first name is Evil, last name Queen.
Yeah, and she named
And
her
they
daughter
just said, yeah, that's the case. Instead of just like retconning a name, which would have been totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's gotta be something, right? But she's like, oh, I'm Evil Queen. This is my daughter, Evie. But she's the best character.
It's Sophia Carson.
Yay!
We have already talked about. She was in Adventures in Babysitting.
Oh my god, we did cover that.
Yeah, so I'm going to speed through her a little quickly. One thing I found interesting, apparently she auditioned initially for Audrey for this film.
Oh, ew. Visceral reaction to
Yeah,
that.
but, like, actually, we want to make you one of the main four.
I just copied what Kelsey did for Factos at that time, which was she was in Purple Hearts, the Netflix film that Kelsey loves so dearly.
I wouldn't say I love it. But...
You talk about it all the time and how
I'm-
much you think it's amazing.
No, I
No.
don't.
This is when we go off air, you always like, oh, I can drop the facade.
Oh
This is my
God.
favorite film of all time.
Stop.
She was in My Little Pony: A New Generation as one of the voices there.
Okay. Slay.
She was nominated. She performed one of the Oscar-nominated songs for Best Song of the Year in the 2022 Oscars.
Pretty cool.
And since we last mentioned, she had a big role in the 2024 Netflix film Carry On.
Yeah, haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it, but like I know of the movie.
Yes.
So-
I saw on TikTok that she was in another Netflix movie. I was like, good for you, girl.
That's like Taron Egerton.
Get your
It's
bag.
like a
Yeah.
action film,
Yeah.
like about TSA.
Yeah, he's a TSA agent.
Yeah, about the TSA. Did not watch, but yeah,
It was on my list and never got to it.
maybe later.
We all did our research. So yeah, that's Sophia Carson. Cool. We'll talk about all these people when we go through every movie that they're in. Again, everyone here is in 1 through 3 unless otherwise mentioned.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Playing the role of Ben, son of Queen Belle and Beast.
King
who's-
Beast.
King Beast. Who's just called Beast.
Yeah, he's Beast.
His name is still Beast.
His dad is Beast and his mom is Belle, so you get Ben from both of those.
You needed a B name.
This is Mitchell Hope.
Mitchell
Yeah.
Hope, yeah.
In our free time, Kelsey and I will just roast Mitchell Hope.
All the
It's
time.
probably pretty mean.
Yeah, he honestly doesn't deserve the hate he gets from them.
No, but also he didn't deserve the role of Ben in this.
100%
Right,
agree.
though.
Like, he's cute, but he's not like like the hottest teenage boy that you typically see in the. I know it's weird to say that for
Yeah,
teenage boys,
right,
but like,
but-
yeah, I think he was like 21 when we filmed this, so it's not like a minor.
He has a baby face.
Yeah, he's not a good dancer. He's not a good singer. And if before you say anything, Benji will get there. He will explain why we're saying he's not a good singer. Because like, I watched the movie, he was great. There's a caveat to that. And also, he's not even that good of an actor.
No, and it was something where I was rewatching this movie and I'm saying, the couple caveats I give is one, I think Ben is actually an incredibly difficult character to play. In this world of these like elaborate over the top characters, he has to be the most grounded one of the kid actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has to be like acting under a spell, acting like he's not under a spell, acting like all these different types of emotion stuff.
Yeah.
But a better actor would do better with it.
Yeah, I think they would. I think he needed to go more over the top when he was under a spell than he
Yeah.
did. Even though he went higher than he was at. But I don't know.
His best scenes are one-on-one with Mal. It works a lot better within there. I feel like their chemistry is successful enough.
Yeah. I think what-
Kelsey pointed out he has a lot of Zephron in
Yes.
High School
and his
Musical.
aura.
It's
like
the same haircut.
it's the same haircut, and sometimes some of his mannerisms and his line
Which is
delivery.
probably just a Kenny Ortega thing.
Yeah, I'm like he kind of reminds me of Zac Efron,
But
Zac
Mitchell
Efron's
Hope
so much
is not
better.
as talented
No.
as Zac Efron, which
And
who is?
It's crazy. Like I don't even think he's the worst out there. Like I think if this was a normal Disney Channel original movie,
We wouldn't point it out.
it would be fine and he's passable for a normal one. But all of the other actors do such a great
The
job.
main four are really talented.
They're so
Yeah.
good that like it really stands out that he's not up to their level.
Yeah. Like honestly, I like seek out the actors that play the main four in other things now,
Exactly.
and I would never seek out something he was in just because he's in it.
No, it's just like such a clear step down, and that sucks for like a huge major character that
Yeah.
drives the plot.
But Mitchell, he was still good. Like,
Yeah, but Mitchell, come on the podcast.
Mitch,
Yeah.
come defend yourself.
we're not trying to bash you if you're listening.
Like Mitchell, we hate on you too much than you deserve, but also you deserve it a little bit.
So Mitchell Hope has very minimal credits outside of Descendants. In fact,
Shocker.
Descendants franchise is half of his IMDb page.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
it
Yeah, that
compares
makes-
to other stuff.
That makes sense.
The most notable thing is probably being a part of the ensemble of the Netflix film Let It Snow,
I watched that.
which is like
Really?
a
Yeah.
John Green book.
Yes, I read the
movie.
book. I read the book because I love John Green. I read all his books as a teenager, and I watched that movie.
He's a part of the ensemble.
I
I don't think
watched
he's a
it
part of the
in-
main
I
character.
watched it in college. I wonder if we had watched Descendants at that point, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's Ben." Maybe I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but that's Mitchell Hope. I'm on the podcast. Out of people we've said come on the podcast, like in real life, Mitchell Hope might be the most. I maybe should start going through these a bit faster because we still got a lot of people to go, and those were the biggest people for sure. Playing the role of fairy godmother from Cinderella.
Whoa!
Wow, is Melanie Paxson. She's the only actor in all of the Descendants films, including Rise of Red, and she'll be in the next one that's coming out next year as well, Wicked Wonderland.
Ooh, that's the title.
I believe so.
That's fun.
So, yeah. And that's probably the most notable thing she's done is Descendants, but she's had notable roles in the shows Happy Family, Notes from the Underbelly, Cupid, True Jackson VP. She had a notable role in the film Saving Mr. Banks.
True Jackson VP.
Yeah.
Love that show with Kiki Palmer.
Kiki Palmer.
Love her.
Yeah.
Fun. All right.
Playing the role of Jane. Can anyone guess who's Jane's mom?
Gelatin.
No. Hollis Gelatin. It's daughter of Fairy Godmother. So Fairy Godmother probably has a J name somewhere.
God, Jay.
John
Mother.
Mary John.
John.
Fairy Godmother.
Very John Mother. Not you can make it like what's a G girl name?
Or
Gina.
Frizzy.
Gina.
Gina.
Playing the role of Jane is Brenna D'Amico.
Mm.
Descendants was her first role, and she's really not done that much otherwise. Yeah, she had a recurring role in Chicken Girls and a lead role in this random film that I found about a Jack Russell Terrier that rides a horse called Adventures of Dally and Spanky.
What the fuck?
It's very funny to see that.
I'm intrigued by this.
I was like, I kind of want to see this. Came out like the same year Descendants 3 came out.
I am intrigued. I want to see this.
Project.
She's like, I made it.
Like the poster for Adventures of Dally and Spinky looked really funny to me.
You're kidding. Show them.
I feel like I've seen that.
No way.
I want to watch this and see what it is.
It's so okay. Should we describe it?
Oh, it's a horse with a dog on its back.
The horse is like on its two legs,
Yeah.
and the dog is like there's a rainbow in the background.
Yeah, I found that pretty insightful and incredible. Playing the role of Audrey, daughter of Princess Aurora, aka Sleeping Beauty,
Yeah, so Audrey, Aurora. They could have gone with
and
Like
Prince Philip.
and yeah, you're right. They could have done Philippa, but they're like we care more about Aurora, but they could have done like Sarah, the daughter of Sleeping Beauty. Sarah Beth, Sleeping Beauty. Nope, they went with Audrey for Aurora, which is fine.
Audrey is played by Sarah Jeffrey. She had a main role in the shows Charmed, Rogue, and Lego Dreams.
Charmed?
Yeah.
The new one?
The remake,
Okay.
yeah. Not the old one.
I was like, I don't ever remember her in the old one. I've watched all of those.
The new one, yeah. She
How old
was-
is it? Would she have been even born?
She would have been a
Something.
kid.
It would have been
baby.
It would have been very
90s,
young.
90s, early 2000s.
She probably maybe was.
She could have been Piper's baby.
Feeling
Sorry,
like-
spoilers.
if you haven't seen it by now, I'm sorry. It's been out for like going on 30 years.
Yeah.
Sarah Jeffrey is notably not in Descendants 2,
So
which
weird.
is wild because she's basically in all other Descendants things. A lot of the cast is not in a lot of the expanded universe. I don't talk a lot about the expanded universe, but Descendants became a huge franchise, multiple spin-off shows, multiple spin-off tiny little things,
Tiny little project.
tiny little project, music videos, stuff like that.
I have a blanket.
Sarah Jeffrey is probably one of the persons most in everything else. She
Yeah.
really would milk this franchise, which makes it really weird she's not in the second movie.
What was she doing? Did she
It
have
was
a
about
credit?
someone else.
She's like, it's not about
I was
me.
looking to see if there was something that would make sense to be, oh, she was filming that. Didn't seem like it.
What's that?
She needed a break.
Okay. Maybe she was trying to make it somewhere else, and then she's like, actually, I need to milk Descendants for all it's worth. And then she did.
Other roles that she's done include playing Daphne in Daphne and Velma, just like a spin-off Scooby-Doo live action
Oh,
thing.
you know what? I didn't know about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was also in the Netflix film The 6888 that came out last year. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Playing the role of Doug, the son of Dopey.
Dylan is fist bumping.
I'm a huge fan of Doug.
You're a huge fan of
He
Doug.
gets better over time.
Doug is
It's
great.
just chef's kiss.
Zachary Gibson plays him. He was actually also in Zapped
Mhm.
as
Where's he?
short dork dancer.
Short.
I know, he must have been younger.
Yeah, maybe he was
'Cause
short.
he's not
but-
short in this film.
No, he grows.
Did they cast him thinking he would be short and then he had a huge growth spurt?
And it's funny that he's tall because he's Dopey's son. He's like a
He's a
dwarf
dwarf.
son. Yeah, but he's tall, which is good because Sophia Carson needs a tall man
Yeah.
to be your dance partner in these movies.
He essentially has no other acting credits. He has 7 total credits on his IMDb, and 4 of them are Disney Channel original movies.
Incredible.
What's wild to me is why is he not in the extended Descendants
Yeah, he's
universe?
never in the animated stuff. Like that's Evie's boyfriend.
It's
Spoiler.
weird. Again, it feels like it would be easy to get him.
Yeah.
He's not
Do
doing
you
much
think
else.
he's not doing anything? Sarah Jeffrey is like, please, please, please put me in, put me in.
Playing the role of Chad Charming, son of Cinderella and Prince Charming. It
Makes
is
sense.
a great name. Jedediah Goodacre,
That's a fake name.
right?
That's
Jedediah.
Jedediah. It's just like a
Jedediah Goodacre.
Good acre.
He went from that to Chad.
Chad.
charming.
Chad Charming. Apparently, he has a sister.
He's
Spoiler.
also in Zapped.
Yeah. What the heck?
Bunch of
So
people met on Zapped.
I think that's why, like, in the little like background scenes and stuff, you see Doug and Chad kind of close. Like when they're frozen later, they're like hugging each other. I think these two are just actually real life friends, and they were both on Zap,
Yeah.
yeah,
and now they're both in
my take
Descendants.
is Zap came out like right before just the first Descendants did,
Oh yeah,
and they just took the people that could dance from that film because there's dancing in the film, and said you can be a little bit of a bigger character within here because we need you for more dances.
Chad Charming's pretty important.
Yes,
So is Doug, honestly.
but like they're also in group dance numbers,
Yeah,
and they already had the talent like identified.
I guess.
Yeah. I don't think he does a poor job in this film at all. I kind of like Chad in this.
I like Chad in this. He's funny. He does his role well.
I love his expressions.
He's
Yeah.
very much a Chad.
Yeah.
He starred in the film Finding You. He had a notable role in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which is like, yeah,
Ooh,
I can look that back up if you want me to.
is that the like Netflix?
Yeah, that's the remake, the live action
Oh,
one.
you love that show.
Yes. Who?
You don't remember Chad?
No.
Jedediah?
Guy Goodacre.
Was he in a lot of it?
He was in Dorian Gray.
I do remember that. I'm so sorry. I did forget about that. But yes,
Okay.
he is in that. Right. That's later. It's not definitely not a first season.
Gotcha.
He's had other small recent roles in like Fire Country, Tracker, and Woman of the Hour.
Heard of all of those. He was in Woman of the Hour.
Yeah, he was one of the bachelors.
Oh, shut the fuck up. I watched that movie. I did not realize that at all.
Didn't clock it.
Didn't clock it. He's older now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he's doing stuff.
Now that I'm thinking about the movie, oh my god. He probably was him. I mean, I know it is.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right. Playing the role of Lonnie, wait for it, daughter of Mulan, Mulan and Li Chang.
And that's another. It's like they didn't take the letter
Well, they took from
M. Oh, Li Shang.
Yeah.
And
but
then
Lonnie, Mulan.
Yeah, Mulan, Lonnie. I don't know. To me, it's a stretch.
I think it's better than some of the ones that are letter based. That's Diane Doan. Hopefully that's how you pronounce it. She was originally a dancer. She danced in the 2010 Olympics. She danced for Michael Bublé. She danced for Big Time Rush. And she danced on So You Think You Can Dance.
As a contestant?
Yes.
Dang. I love that.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's a dancer. She had a recurring role on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., a main role in the show Warrior. She had a recurring role as of recently in Grey's Anatomy.
Damn right.
What?
It's literally like the most recent season of Grey's Anatomy, and I'm watching it. And first off, one of the new interns is Harry Shum Jr., who was on Glee. And he had this plot where he had like a fiance who like lost her memory, blah, blah, blah. She comes back. And I'm like, God, this girl looks so familiar. And I looked her up and I'm like, oh my God, it's Lonnie from Descendants. That's crazy.
I love when stuff like that.
Yeah.
happens.
So I'm like, Glee and Descendants crossover?
There's a bigger Glee and Descendants crossover, but we'll get to that.
What? Oh my God, wait. Yeah. There's a bigger Glee Descendants crossover. Someone who's actually in Glee and Descendants, and not just this one guy from Glee and this one girl from Descendants are in Grey's Anatomy.
I think yeah.
She also had a recurring role on Vikings. And I pointed out because I found it interesting. She's been engaged since 2019 to Manny Jacinto, the actor for Jason on The Good Place.
Jason?
Yeah.
Cute couple.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Love that.
Not Dylan looking it up.
Who is she on Vikings?
Yidu.
Oh my god. How did I not recognize you?
Her hair's very different.
It is very
Recognized her
She's
right
also-
away on Grey's Anatomy either, and it's just because years have passed. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
she's
but
also-
I'm like, it like once you look at it, I'm like, it never clicked for me at all that she was.
that she was someone you knew.
Yeah, I was like,
Wow, it's such a big Descendants 2 fan, Dylan. What the heck? She's a big role in that.
what did I say?
Cool. So that's Diane Doan.
Oh my gosh, there's still so many more.
Yes. I'm telling you, this is going to be
Rapid
the
fire.
that we
Yeah,
have.
rapid fire. Let's go.
Playing the role of King Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. From here on out, I think I'm just talking about the adults because they do deserve to be talked about. They're playing legitimate Disney icons, and that's interesting.
Hmm.
But they're also all just adults with decently notable stuff. It's Dan Payne. He's with a fair number of small roles. He was on Watchmen. He was in Cabin in the Woods. He was in Mulligans. He had a small role in Muppets Wizard of Oz that I wanted to point out because that's one of Kelsey's favorite films of all time.
I watched that as a kid all the time, and I made Jane House watch it once. Apparently, he's in that.
Yeah, he's like the weatherman.
Oh,
And since like Descendants, he's really just done only Hallmark movies and holiday movies.
That's so
He's just
funny.
become like exclusively a Hallmark Christmas movie guy.
I mean, I kind of get that vibe from him anyway. So
Yeah, it makes enough sense for me. It's just like, yeah, I can pay my mortgage off with with Hallmark. Playing the role of Queen Belle from Beauty and the Beast is Keegan Concert Tracy. Yeah, I said that wrong. Keegan Connor Tracy. He's probably best known as being the Blue Fairy in Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's definitely on some kind of like long running TV show.
She's had other main roles in Bakers and Choosers, Bates Motel, and Magicians, and various other small TV and film roles we don't need to get all the way into.
Cool.
Playing the role of Cruella de Vil is Wendy Raquel Robinson. She had main roles on The Steve Harvey Show and The Game, so a couple of decently big TV shows
Okay.
within there. She had other notable roles in Miss Congeniality, Papa's House, Grand Hotel.
Okay.
So, like, still doing stuff to this day. Playing the role of Jafar is Maz Jobrani. He's probably best known for being a part of the comedy group Axis of Evil, which was like 4 Middle Eastern comedians that did a quadret because 9/11 happened and their lives all changed and they wanted to make comedy stand-up about that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was decently big. Still does stand-up. That's still his main gig. Some minor TV roles. He had a notable recurring role on Superior Donuts, probably being his biggest. Playing of the role of Evil Queen from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Because again, we don't otherwise. There's a lot of evil queens in.
Yeah, but she's the evil queen.
The capital T.
Is someone we just talked about in Scream Team, Kathy Najimy.
She is in Scream Team.
Yeah, she's one of the witches in Hocus Pocus.
I see that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Again, the Kenny Ortega connection there.
Yes.
The orange
That's why I
one.
gasped earlier when you mentioned he worked on Hocus Pocus. I was like, no way.
Yeah. She's in the Sister Act films. She had major roles on Veep, Veronica Closet, Medea Christmas, Wall-E.
Yeah, she's the human in Wall-E.
But probably the biggest roles that she has is she's Peggy Hill on King of the Hill.
oh,
I know, isn't she like actually kind of a big deal?
Yeah, she's
Like more than you'd expect.
like I knew about the Sister Act one. I knew about
Hocus
Hocus Pocus, but like some of these other things, I'm like, I never realized you were.
she's just someone who has been like an established star way longer than we
Yeah.
realized until we looked up on screen.
Now imagine you're watching Scream Team. Like, oh, she's in Hocus Pocus.
But then like another person in Scream Team is just part of fucking Monty Python.
Like
Like,
that
one of the
guy.
members of Monty Python's in
Yeah.
there, and then Cat Dennings is there too.
Cat Denny.
It's actually insane watching Scream Team with like
It was weird.
that.
And then finally, the biggest person in this cast, playing the role of Maleficent, is Kristen Chenoweth.
Boom. There's our Glee crossover.
Probably best known as playing the original Glinda in Wicked. She
Yes.
originated that role, and it's still what she's most associated with. She didn't win a Tony Award for that. She was nominated but lost to Idina Menzel.
Yeah.
Her role in
Yeah.
Wicked.
She did win a Tony, though, for playing Sally in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. She also got nominated again for Best Actress for On the 20th Century. She won an Emmy for Supporting Actress for Pushing Daisies, and she got nominated again for Glee.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
She was in Glee.
Other roles include, I just listed a couple that I found interesting, but she's done a lot of shit. Bewitched, The Pink Panther, West Wing, Tinkerbell, and a lot of spin-off media, Space Chimps, BoJack Horseman, Sesame Street, and Rio 2.
She was she the girl bird in Rio?
No, that's Anne Hathaway.
Okay. I was like,
She's someone else. Yeah.
It's someone specifically only
And
to
two.
Rio 2.
oh right. Because it's
Yeah.
number 2. Yeah.
And then I pointed this out because she's actually worked significantly with Dove Cameron multiple times
Yeah.
before. She was in Hairspray Live as Dove Cameron's mother there, too.
Mhm. Mother daughter again.
And they were both in the Apple TV show Shigmadoon, which is like a musical comedy show
Yeah.
with Dove Cameron as well. So
Oh, I think they're besties.
yeah, they have worked together multiple times, like very closely.
Yeah.
and they have good chemistry.
They
So
do. They really do.
I get that. And they look enough alike, and they work well together. And obviously, Kristen Chenoweth is such talent. They both have musical talent.
Yeah.
They're the reason this can all work. Those are all musical projects that they've worked together on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, your
We
list
got
of
through the
fun facts.
cast.
Your
Now we
fun
get
facts
to
is
fun
crazy.
facts, which is still quite big. First off, we should mention, yeah, Mitchell Hope doesn't sing for Ben.
Yeah. It's someone else. Did you find out who?
Yes.
Oh.
I forgot to look it up and do it, but I looked it up while we were talking about the fact is here.
Okay, good.
His name is Jeff Lewis. Is the guy who actually sings. And yeah, he does the majority of the singing, although I don't think all of the singing, but I believe all of the singing in Descendants 1.
Yeah.
He did return for Descendants 2, he does You and Me.
Oh, okay.
But I
he
don't
didn't do
think
Chill Like a Villain.
I don't think he does Chilling Like a
No,
Villain, which
I
is
think
really spoken.
Yeah,
in a
that
lot of
is
ways.
Mitchell Hope doing Chill Like a Villain. And then 3, I think, was also Mitchell Hope
I
doing
think
the
3 is all
reprise.
Mitchell Hope.
Because all he did was like a little reprise of Did I Mention in 3, and then he like doesn't sing for the rest of it. Maybe a little bit in the closing number, but they're like, Mitchell, you don't have to sing.
Yeah.
It's so insane. Like, why wouldn't you just cast somebody who can sing?
Yeah.
Who can sing, and dance, dance, dance?
So
Yeah.
Jeff
All
Lewis,
this is
he goes by Jay Lewis more often professionally.
Okay.
He was a contestant on The Voice, season 4.
Wow.
On Usher.
Okay.
so. What you're telling me is he can sing at least.
Yeah, I don't think.
Is he ugly?
Why didn't they just cast him?
But I think he's older.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'll ruin it.
I also
Find a
it does
teenage
look
boy
like
who
Mitchell
can-
Hope does perform some of Did I Mention?
Really?
The dancing.
Yeah. Some of it because he danced. So he should get some credit. He's not even a good dancer. He's honestly
No.
awkward. Like if you see him and Cameron Boyce dancing side by side, and my god, the difference. Insane.
Yeah. The other work that Jeff Lewis did was like the Lego Batman soundtrack and the Lego Ninjago movie.
I'm gonna say though, both those banger soundtracks.
He should get the full Drew Seeley treatment and like go on tour and instead of Mitchell Hope, and everyone is like, who the fuck is that? Because that's what happened with Drew Seeley in High School Musical. Like Zac Efron did not go on tour, and everyone's like, who? That's not Troy, but it sounds like Troy.
So that's that. Now here's some fun facts. I have a lot of these as well. Fun fact: before the premiere of this film, Disney aired the live-action show Descendants: School of Secrets. It was like a mini-series that had 5-minute episodes released each of the 23 days before Descendants aired.
That's pretty cool.
So every day there was something new as a part of it.
Huh.
Then it would reveal little bits about the school and the lore and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I want to watch it now.
yeah.
Descendants is kind of a book franchise. The first book, Isle of the Lost, released 2 months before the film,
Mhm.
and it gives a lot of details and stuff that are insights and everything. But it's also like this isn't a movie based off the book.
No, they came out
They
together.
came out together. It's like companion pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shawn Mendes has an original song that's sung in the credits called Believe. It was like nominated for a Teen Choice Award.
Yeah.
It's really nothing
It's
special.
the credit song.
Yeah. It's really kind of weird that it's there, honestly.
I know, it feels like out of place, and they just like show scenes of the film in the credits while it's Shawn Mendes singing, and they like show specific scenes of like, oh, it's Doug Cameron and Boo Stewart. Blah, blah, blah.
This film got nominated for a Primetime Emmy for Best Score and like a TV movie drama, which is very interesting to me for the fact of I don't think the score is anything particularly that insane. It's really just riffing off the music of the songs, which is not what score is.
That's what score is for musicals. Like Wicked,
Well,
that's what the score is.
You're not allowed to like score original score like that. But I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know the whole rules.
The
of the
songs
Emmy
were
laws.
original too.
Yeah, but that would be nominated in the song category, not the score category. Yeah, well, cool for that. I pointed out it's very rare for DCOMs to get nominated for first-time Emmys.
Yeah.
And now for some random fun facts I found on IMDb that I found were interesting. The reason Ben decided to ask the villain's children to come to Oridon was because he had a vision of girl like Mal on Island Lost, but it's never explained in the film itself.
Yeah, apparently it's in the books.
Uh,
I thought he was just being a nice guy.
so he's
Right?
I thought he was just horny for Mal.
been
Well,
pining.
no, I mean, like, if you don't know that he had that vision, it's like,
But that's why, when they meet and he kind of pauses, it's
Yeah.
because it's like, I know you. Yeah.
Okay, not to bring it to ACOTAR, but that's kind of what happens in ACOTAR. There's this girl on the other side of the wall that he has visions of, and then suddenly they're meeting in the same place, and he's like, I know you.
Yeah, that's Descendants. Agatha ripped off Descendants.
Sure.
Mal isn't her full name.
You know what? It's a Beauty and the Beast
Mal
retelling.
Maleficent.
Oh my god, it is Beauty and the
And
Beast.
her mother won't give Mal her full name until she proves she's evil enough.
That's so stupid. So her name is Mal forever and she'll never know.
Well, it probably is just Maleficent.
She's like, your name is Mal and I'll give you the rest of your name when you're evil. And she's like, guess what? It's also Maleficent. We're both Maleficent.
Maleficent the second.
Maleficent.
My headcanon is that her name is Malice.
Malice? Like sweet.
Yeah, I
I
think.
think it's Maldives.
Malaise.
Back to the fun facts.
Yes, back to the fun facts.
Initially, this wasn't going to be a musical. It wasn't until Kenny Ortega came on to direct it.
Thank you. Thank you, Kenny.
I feel like it's so easy on a market standpoint to be like,
That's because they're all musicals that they're
That,
coming.
that's what I was gonna say. I was like, you're literally taking from Disney movies, basically, characters that are already musicals. If you didn't make it a musical, I don't think it would have gone as well.
Like they were worried about bogging it down.
I could see that as
like
well.
there's so much characters that they want to explore and do stuff with.
But it's so good that it's a musical.
I like the music kind of breaks it up nicely
Yeah.
to where it's not just kind of
Yeah.
one level the whole time.
My
It
take
would be
again
boring.
is there's so many ways this movie could fail because the idea has a lot of promise and this movie delivers on this promise. The franchise delivers on the promise. But at the same time, there's so many pitfalls that could have fell. And that's what I think is most impressive about this movie. It still fails in some ways. There's stuff I dislike about this movie. And I feel like, in a way, the music is either just okay or it feels out of place. And it felt like they were going for 5 different musical styles and the 5 different musical numbers that they have. There's like 2 that feel totally similar to each other.
Yeah.
They were trying to find an identity with it through the making of it, but it works out well enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm happy it was a musical, and I feel like they land that a lot better in the second one, which all feels like it ties together better musically.
Yeah.
No, agreed.
Cool. Ben gets his first and middle names from the co-writer Josanne McGibbon's 2 son-in-laws, Ben and Florian.
That is so stupid.
His middle name is Florian.
Yeah, his middle name's Florian, and guess what? That's the name of the prince in Snow White. And so I thought, oh, we'll just give him middle name of Florian because it's like, oh, they named him after Snow White's husband.
Like it's his godfather.
Yeah, like his godfather or something. No, apparently it just is the freaking co-writer's son-in-laws, Ben and Florian. And that's why his name is Ben. What about the naming scheme that everyone in Oregon and the Isle have just decided that they have to name their kids similar to their names, except for their mother?
Ben was named first, and then they went, well, we'll just go with it.
Oh, you named him Ben? I guess we'll name our kid Audrey for Aurora.
You think they have, like, legally mandated naming conventions?
Yeah, the
Before-
Belle and Beast have to approve
Do
the
you
name.
think Red got approved?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
they blocked it off, remember? She
Yeah,
wasn't allowed to call
they're not part of Oregon.
Yeah, no, true. Wasn't even called that yet. The video game that Carlos and Jay play during their first night at Oregon Prep is the video game Hero Rising from Disney XD's show Aaron Stone.
That's cool.
It's like specifically like a game that is made in a different Disney show. Didn't know because I didn't know that show at all.
Well, Carlos is on level 3, so.
This one I just wrote 3 words. Dude is female.
A dog who plays dude is female.
Really?
Yeah. For real. I know. That blew my mind. We were like looking at the IMDb. We were like, look at all of these acts that we didn't know. Dude is female?
That is crazy.
I know.
They tried to avoid the whole time.
Yeah.
I didn't do this for all of them, but this is just one of my favorite fun facts at all. The writer for Rotten to the Core, songwriter, same songwriter as the song Bitch,
I'm a
Love that
bitch.
song.
and also What a Girl Wants.
Really?
Yeah. What a funny trio of songs.
What a dummy.
That's a funny trio. Speaking of the music, Descendants soundtrack peaked at #1 on Billboard 200.
Good.
People were buying it.
Hell yeah.
Run to the Core specifically peaked at number 38 on the Hot 100, being the best. If only got up to 94.
Hell yeah.
Every other song in this movie, other than Be Our Guest, got into the bubbling under Hot 100, but didn't actually make the Hot 100.
Yeah, Beer Guest sucked.
Yeah.
It's the worst song in the whole.
That's why we cold opened with it. And yeah, I feel like you're gonna cut that into a different cold open.
The only good part about Be Our Guest is literally Doug breaking out in the background.
Yeah.
He's dancing.
Yeah, he's working.
He's just vibing.
All right, you ready for the Disney Plus description? We have to do this, and then we
Ooh.
can actually talk about the movie.
Yeah, we're finally
let's
done
go.
with the fun fact.
In a present day idyllic kingdom, the benevolent teenage son of the king and queen, Beast and Belle from Disney's Beauty and the Beast, is poised to take the throne. His first proclamation for a chance at redemption to the troublemaking offspring of Cruella, Maleficent, the evil queen, and Jafar, who have been imprisoned on a forbidden island with all the other villains, sidekicks, evil stepmothers, and stepsisters. These villainous descendants, Carlos, Mal, Evie, and Jay, respectfully, are allowed into the kingdom to attend prep school alongside the offspring of iconic Disney heroes, including Fairy Godmother, Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, and Mulan.
So,
However, the evil teens face a dilemma. Should they follow in their nefarious parents' footsteps and help all the villains regain power? Or should they embrace their innate goodness and save the kingdom?
Rapunzel? Is
Wheelchair
Rapunzel
girl.
wheelchair girl? Rapunzel's daughter is wheelchair girl.
Okay, this is a good time to break into Wheelchair Girl. We have 5 minutes. You're not talking past 3:36. Go.
Okay, there's this girl in a wheelchair that's like in the scenes of throughout the whole movie, and Dylan says she's in the other
She shows
movies
up
too.
in every single one for one clip.
Who the fuck is she? She's not in the credits. We're like, does Disney just want to show off that we like kids in wheelchairs too? Like,
Do the dance.
she's not. No, she does
she
dance
does.
and set it off. And set it off.
Yeah.
She does dancing. And what the fuck, Disney Plus description saying that Rapunzel's kids are here? No, they never mentioned Rapunzel. They were going to in Rise of Red, and then they cut it.
I feel like they needed to say Cinderella.
Prince
You're right.
Charming,
Where's
like for Chad.
This is one of the rare ones that has an explicit, incorrect piece of information.
so? Are they trying to make word count? That was so fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's just like the rest of my factos.
That's
It's insane.
Real quick for Wheelchair Girl. In 3, I remembered where she is. She is literally at the end credit scene when they're like showing everyone.
Oh, yeah.
She's just in the background by a staircase, just sitting there. Just sitting there.
Also, I think. Oh wait, no, maybe it's like a flute player or something. But I was like, don't they point her out as being one of the rock people too? In 3?
I don't know.
I think she might have actually been in there for like part. She's in part of like I know in 3 for sure. She is at the end credit scenes in that last like musical number. She's
Yeah.
just in the background in her wheelchair, sitting next to a staircase.
That's so crazy. Who is she? Is she like Kenny Ortega's daughter or something that like just
So-
we're gonna put her here?
If we're gonna go with the headcanon that she's Rapunzel's daughter,
IMDb randomly said she's one of like Ariel's friends' kids.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
Weird.
I just want to know who is she? Why is she there? What's going on?
Why is she in a wheelchair?
Give me the story. It's almost you didn't think the story ended, did you?
We get a new spin-off series called Wheelchair Girls.
I'd watch it.
about all of
Would
Ariel's
have been a good cold.
sister's children.
You didn't think the story begun there.
Anyway, but that's Wheelchair Girl again.
That's Wheelchair Girl. All right, you guys ready to jump into the movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's not the correct response. The correct response is yes, I am ready to break into the movie.
Ew.
You have to pick a DCOM and say you're ready to do that because jump in is a DCOM.
Oh.
It's
So-
a little funny.
It's a little funny thing.
It's a little
So,
funny thing.
I'm
So-
ready to Eddie's $1 million cook-off into the.
oh yeah,
Okay.
Dylan,
I'm ready to smart house into the movie.
let's
I know
go.
you're in a big smart house.
You're
I
a big
know,
smart
yeah.
house. I'm like, what are the
It was
DCOMs
either
that Dylan
that or
knows?
Xenon 3.
P3.
I'm gonna Xenon C3.
You know, the sequel into the.
Okay,
See this? Leave this.
we're finally talking about the movie, you guys.
Oh my god, it's only been an hour.
Yeah, it's only been like almost an hour. Okay, So we open up on a book. Just kidding, it's not a book, it's an iPad. You thought this was a book?
Right.
Fucking idiot, it's an iPad.
Modern day,
Kids
they
in
have
21st
internet
century.
here.
But they don't. They don't have Wi-Fi on that.
They don't have Wi-Fi.
So slow.
I don't know why she has an iPad that's in a book, but okay. Mal is narrating.
Is this presumably post Descendants 3 Mal?
I guess.
I don't know.
Is this like Mal at the end of it retelling the whole story so far?
Because of how she turns around in the moment.
This
Yeah.
is a completely different opening style than what Rise of Red goes for, but this is stuff we'll talk about with Rise of Red more.
I feel like Descendants 2 doesn't even do this.
They do something.
Or 3.
This is more
Kind of the same vein,
This is more
but
like the stupid iPad in frenemies.
Yeah. Okay, anyway. So Mal's narrating, and we get little visuals from the iPad. She says that Belle and Beast married like 20 years ago. So it's only been 20 years of Oregon.
The United States of
Yeah,
Oregon.
the United States of Oregon. That's so stupid. They never say that ever again. They always just
They
say
were
Oregon.
elected king, and then it becomes just a monarchy, an elected monarchy.
so like I have a slight issue with that.
History.
You have all these huge personalities
They're all just okay with that.
that just decided to be like, okay, Belle and Beast, you know what? You're the best ones for the job. We're gonna
best.
vote you.
No,
in.
why Belle and Beast?
I think the reason is not world building wise, but more character development, trying to show that like Ben has a bit of villain in him, being like the villain-ish of the Beast.
Yeah.
Specifically in the beginning, Mal says like he united all the kingdoms. I'm like, yeah, except the Isle. Fuck them, I guess.
No, they're part of
They're
it.
part of the
Good.
No, it's like they're part of the United States of Oregon, but like we don't talk
It's,
about
Right,
it.
I'm like-
it's Guantanamo Bay of the United States of
Right,
Oregon.
yeah,
I'm like, we united everything except that dark island. Don't look over there.
They're still under a
Our
rule.
kingdom is everything the light touches.
Yeah.
When are they gonna add the Lion King?
You're saying there's
Yeah,
Banner in three?
I can't believe they were elected, and then I'll talk about it in a second. So the states of Oregon, right? The United States of Oregon, they show a map and they have like written states, and I wrote them down, just to take a look see.
These are some stupid names.
Yeah, so there's Oregon City, obviously.
Where they are.
Oregon Academy, right? The Forbidden Mountains.
Oh.
Who's in the Forbidden Mountain?
I don't know. The Great Wall.
Mulan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. Bald Mountain.
Who's bald?
I don't know.
Rapunzel.
Caturdor? Dior?
To Dior.
Caturdor? It's like
French. So we're gonna say.
Original Beauty and the Beast location until they moved to Oregon?
Maybe.
I was gonna say.
It could
Dior.
be. It could be like Tiana.
Yeah.
Cinderella's Burg.
That's so stupid.
Is that what they call it later?
Yeah, probably in Rise of Red.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Um,
Continuity.
Camelot Heights.
Camelot Heights.
That's where Avalon High takes place.
Oh, for sure.
Skull Island.
Oh, that's Peter Pan, 100%.
History Island.
History.
That island's got history.
You don't want to know.
And then, of course, the Isle of the Lost. Where all the villains are.
Right. You would think, honestly, you would think they would be in Skull Island and Isle of the Lost would be Peter Pan with all the Lost.
Yeah,
Boys.
what's up with Skull Island and History Island? What's going on?
I want lore on all these, but I'm not going to read the book to find it.
You know
they
what?
have it.
Maybe I read the book by the Descendants too.
That'd be so fun. Okay. So we learned all villains were sent to the Isle of the Lost with a magical barrier around it. No magic, no Wi-Fi,
That's the second biggest problem is no Wi-Fi.
no way out. And she's like, don't worry, you'll meet us in a sec. But first, this happened. And we go to Ben. Ben is looking out to the aisle and he's like getting tailored for a suit. And then his parents come in, Belle and Beast. And we learn that Ben is being crowned king next month. And he's turning 16.
Just remember, this is an elected monarchy, so they chose this. What I'm guessing is this is a power play. It's not supposed to be a monarchy, but they got elected as the leader, Belle and Beast did, and then they said, we actually want our son to be this, so when he turns 16, we're going to say he's king.
Why the fuck would you make him king at 16? He's still in
he's
school.
the power.
Literally, why not wait 2 more years?
I'm just gonna say history has proven teenage kings is not a great concept
No.
at all.
Yeah, you know what? What Ben does here has a lot of chance of fucking them all up.
Oh my god! And like
Even if there's good stuff to it.
Like, I can see good intentions in what he's planning, but
The whole kingdom was a second away from collapse.
the possible downside compared to just the good moral intentions do not balance out at all.
why is this the first thing you're doing? It's because he's 16.
It's because he had a vision.
It's because he had a vision, actually.
He just,
So stupid.
It's because he got horny for Mal.
Yeah.
In a vision.
My reading of this film this time through was the entire plot and like the ethical issues I had about like love potions being portrayed the way they are in media.
I have more problems with Ben, honestly.
It's just like it completely justifies it to myself if I go, Ben was horny for Mal and that's why he brought me here.
A little bit. I just am so mad at Belle and Beast for like being elected king and queen and then crowning their 16-year-old son. There's nothing wrong with them. They didn't have to step down. Why are they making their 16-year-old son king? Where's the new election?
They're in 40s, right?
They want to retire.
They're like in their 40s.
well, you can actually tell it. He literally married her at 28.
Yeah, so he's 48.
So do the math after that. How old is Ben? 16? How many years, roughly? Like,
Yeah.
you can math it out pretty closely to
What,
bare
2
minimum.
years?
He's like 32, so it's like 4 years after they became king and queen, they had a son.
And he had, BC even makes a thing, he didn't make a smart decision until he was 40.
Yeah.
So, like, you
So
can
like
kind of
having
math
a
it out.
son was a bad decision.
Well, he didn't make a smart decision until he was 40.
And they got married. I hate my wife.
And then he made a joke saying, it was you or the teapot.
Haha.
I was like, you're
disgusting. Were you fucking the teapot?
I'm like,
And why you're the beast.
I don't like the dad. I'm like, poor Belle.
Yeah, and he comes in, he's like 16 is far too young to be king. Yeah, no fucking shit.
Then why are you doing it?
Why are you doing
You're
it?
fixing the laws here. And if not, I want that movie.
So, yeah, Ben tells his parents he's chosen the first official proclamation. The children of the Isle of the Lost should be given a chance to live in Oregon for some reason. Ben feels like they've been abandoned. So let's start with just a few first. The ones that need our help the most. Now, this is interesting to me because he's heard about them. He's heard about their reputation. Unless he's just going off of their parents, which is fine. But it makes me feel like Mal's gang is so much badder than Uma's gang.
Yeah.
That like,
Problems.
why would you bring the like worst behaved kids here?
You're trying to solve the biggest potential problems of your kingdom by you're sending them to juvie, but the juvie is just like private school.
And you get to like have all the freedoms and rights that every other kid does.
Yeah,
That's not juvie.
no, but the concept is similar. You're trying to take the ones that are most at risk of causing a revolution and upsetting your throne of power.
Yeah, if you get them,
On the good side,
You rehabilitate them.
yeah.
if they can be rehabilitated, then basically anyone
Along
can.
that same lines, though, is like, okay, so if Mal, Jay, Carlos, and Evie are the ones causing the biggest problems of all the kids there,
Mm-hmm.
They're really not
What-
that bad.
what can they really do? They don't have magic. They don't have Wi-Fi.
They
They
do have magic in Ordon.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like in the Isle of the Lost, how bad are they really if they're on the Isle of the Lost? Like,
Everybody's bad there.
what is the worst thing they could do? Steal something from someone else?
Yeah, that happens all the time.
They steal candy from
from a baby. But like,
Like
okay,
sword fight and shit.
but I'm just like, I have a huge issue with just the idea of the Isle of Lost and how it's portrayed because it just doesn't work.
The
in my
world
mind.
building of this film is weird. And again, like they could have done so much worse, so I don't want to harp on it too much. But it's a very unique world because there's tying together all these characters that are fundamentally not able to be tied together. And you just have to really hand wave a lot of it. And the film helps you do that. But there's some stuff that they set up that's just like,
If you sit down and like
Okay.
think about the world, it's like,
It doesn't make sense at all.
how does this work? Well, like one of my biggest gripes is like the Isle of the Lost. It's like, okay,
and then you add Rise of Red to the mix, and you're like, wait a second, so literally nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a whole other bag.
but like the Isle of the Lost is like you have all these basically super like me characters,
Yeah.
and no one's vying for power over the Isle of the Lost and trying to run it.
Well, Maleficent is like the baddest.
Yeah, but like her biggest thing is like magic. Like she doesn't have that.
She doesn't have that.
So like it makes no like for example again doesn't make in my mind doesn't make sense of the she's the one like in charge. It would be like theoretically in that situation it would be whoever's physically strongest would have the best chance of like
Gaston.
taking over, not Maleficent, Evil Queen Jafar, and Cruella.
We learned this in 2. They just open up their own small businesses.
Yeah.
Uma has a restaurant. Lady Tremaine has a hair salon.
Yeah.
It's just like really weird.
This Jafar community.
Yeah, Jafar has a shop.
It honestly seems kind of lovely.
So what I'm hearing is they're fixing themselves.
It feels like they solved the rent crisis, and they're not talking about it.
It's rent, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ben is like, I've already chosen them, and Beast is freaking out, but Belle's like, I gave you another chance. So this is why Ben's like, maybe the Beasts are nice though. So we learn these are the kids. Like, who are their parents? We have the son of Cruella, Jafar.
They're like,
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no reaction, right? Cruella, Jafar,
Mhm.
Evil Queen, totally fine, and Maleficent.
And everyone in the room goes, no, fuck no.
Maleficent.
The dad specifically said, but she's the most evil villain in all the land.
She's the most evil villain ever.
In all fairness, she got mad over not being invited to a christening. So I mean, I get it.
Why don't you invite her first?
Most wrong.
Don't do the wrong thing again.
Trying to fix the problem.
Yeah. But Ben convinces the Beast that it's fine, and he's like, the children are innocent, and he's like, okay, yeah, I guess the children are innocent. And then Ben looks at his Beast ring. He has a ring with a Beast face on it. So yeah, now we go to the Isle of the Lost. They say I'm trouble. They say I'm bad. So this is Rotten of the Core. And we get to meet each kid. So Mal's first. She has her little verse, and it's Jay, and he's like sliding off a roof. And then there's Evie, who's like, I'm so flirty. And then there's Carlos, who like also does like a flip.
You
And it's so good.
flirt.
So I'm a misfit. So I'm a slut.
So yeah, basically.
We made that joke a couple days ago.
I do want to know what like a PG-13 Descendants would look like, an R-rated Descendants.
I'm
It's
down
really
with
funny to me.
That would be really
Yeah.
gonna write it.
It would pretty much be probably the like manga book they have about like this. It basically kind of like this premise
Yeah.
where it's like all the kids are in a prep school of like all the heroes and villains together.
Welcome to my wicked world. Wicked world.
TV show.
Yeah. And then the best shot of the whole thing is the first Rotten to the Core, and they're on the gate, and they do their little head thing, and they get brought into the core.
We may not mention another time. It's a Kenny Ortega movie. The choreography is fucking fantastic.
It's so good. This whole sequence, this whole
This is the
song,
best part.
it's so good.
I love the way they introduce all the characters because so Mal at first is like literally graffitiing something.
She's
Yeah.
spray painting like
So it's like a long live evil symbol. But then if you pay special attention during this first scene, you can see one for each
Yes.
of the
Yes,
four.
there's a J1.
It's
Yeah.
literally
Yeah, there's
his.
probably
It's
others.
literally his dad as the genie.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, you can see one for each of them, and I just think that's really cool.
Yeah. And then it like in the last course it breaks out into dubstep.
Can we talk about their outfits though, really?
Yeah, sure.
Like I paid special attention to the like outfits this time because I thought they were in the same outfit the whole time.
No,
That
they
is
changed.
not.
They changed it like every
My
scene.
favorite
Yes.
thing about this movie, and specifically one, but probably the entire franchise, is the costuming. The costuming department is very on point.
Yeah.
Makeup and hairstyling is hit or miss.
Yeah.
Costuming is always very interesting and very detailed, and they do a lot with it, which is good.
Yeah.
They really justify the live action nature of it, you know?
Yeah.
Taking these animated, colorful characters, they feel fun and interesting the whole way through.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that the clothes on the aisle, like a lot of people kind of just look homeless, but like Mal and Evie and Jay, they kind of have like this patchwork leather ensemble going, and I really love that.
Yeah. It's so fun. Yeah, so like breaks into dubstep, and in the middle of the dubstep, there's like moans, like
All of a sudden, flash mob in the middle of a street with dubstep and moaning. Yeah.
yeah, it's weird. But also the choreography is fire. So.
I love when they lean back and they kind of like ragdoll.
Yeah, they like have their arms like a ragdoll. It's so good. And they finish the song, and it's Jay that goes like rotten to the core. And they use that a lot throughout the movie.
They like frame Jay in a lot of ways as like one of the bigger characters within here. Something I dislike about this movie, less this one, but still this one, more the whole franchise. The main two boys, really get pushed to the side consistently.
They do throughout the whole franchise.
But like in this beginning scene, you feel like Jay's gonna be one of the biggest ones of them. Like other than Mal, I feel
he
like,
like leads the rotten.
and that's what I think it is. He just has the best deep voice for
Yeah,
that
I'm
aspect of
rotten
it.
to the core. All right, so that's Riding the Car. It's like the best part of the movie. It's all downhill from here. Okay, it's so great. So then at the end of the song, Mal literally steals candy from a baby. And then everybody runs away because Maleficent's here.
Well,
And
it's
they're so
also
scared of her.
it's also like our two henchmen. Who are they?
Yeah.
Who are these right now?
I don't know.
They just show up and everyone flees because they're like, oh,
They
not
know
for her.
Maleficent, yeah. So she's like stealing candy, Mal, and she's like, it was from a baby. And it's like, oh, I'm so proud of you. And this is something I noticed on this recent one. She like
Takes the lollipop,
she like licks
licks
it,
it
and no,
herself.
she spits on it, puts it in her armpit, and says, "Give it back to the dreadful
Yeah.
creature." So
The dreadful creature.
yeah, so she's being
She-
evil.
She's got a thing against babies. We got to remember that.
And she's like, "Mal, I want you to be evil like me." And then Maleficent tells the four kids that they're gonna go to school in Oridon, and they try to run away. And they hate the idea of going to Oridon, which is so different from the rest of the franchise, where it's like every kid on the isle is desperate to go to
This one
Oridon.
you can easily hand away with like the perception of everything changed by these four going.
I guess.
Because they go and then they decided to stay and they just everyone saw their wedding on or the coronation on TV.
Yeah.
And they saw like, oh, we want to be good.
Yeah.
And everyone has to change of heart.
And then also these four are like kind of ambassadors for the program in the next movie. So it's kind of like they're like,
Well, at first they're just like, "Oh, we're the four that get to stay here. Nobody else gets to come over."
no, I know. I mean,
Yeah.
like later,
Yeah.
when people actually want to come, I think it's because they put in a lot of work, like advertising.
Yeah. But then Evie's excited about the princes, but Carlos is like, they have dogs there, and I'm scared of dogs. And Maleficent's like, well, we're gonna go for like world domination or something. I don't know. They like go inside, and they're all within the same like house. It's like Maleficent's house. I don't know.
Yeah, they're all hanging out.
Yeah, like all the parents too.
Yeah,
Um,
everyone.
Maleficent is like, Mal, you're gonna go find fairy godmother and bring back her magic wand. Easy peasy. Because then we'll be able to break the barrier and take over the world. And Mal says, what's in it for us? Like us four.
Also, a logical fallacy on that one. You're going to bring back the wand into a place where magic doesn't work.
But the wand works.
Does it work in
I
that?
think it does.
The wand is the most powerful. Like the wand made the spell of no magic.
I guess, yeah.
mean-
Because like my logic behind it was, I'm like, if it can shut down like Maleficent's staff and all these other magical things,
Yeah.
should the barrier just negate magic?
Fleet wands the monk off in that alone.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they do that in the second one too, where it's
Yeah,
like, bring
sorry.
the wand back. Yeah. Maleficent is like, I don't care about your friends. This is about you and me, Mal. We're gonna rule the world. But then Evil Queen is like, all of us are gonna rule, and she's like, yeah, okay, I guess. And Jafar and Cruella too. And she says, Mal, if you don't do this, then you're grounded for the rest of your life. And she's like, Mom, what the heck? And then they have this green-eyed staring contest. That was weird. Their eyes glow
They
green.
try and basically fight for dominance.
And Maleficent wins. And then Evil Queen tells Evie that she needs to go and get a prince in a castle. And Cruella tells
The Evie's spotlight right now is just superfluous, artificial, like
we're pretty.
I gotta go get myself a prince in a castle.
Yeah.
I'll get myself a man.
Yeah.
like
Cruella-
we're saying, I don't think Evil Queen's really a bad parent.
No, she's very vain, which makes sense. She makes her daughter vain, which makes sense. Yeah. I don't think their relationship's horrible.
Jay's dad doesn't seem that bad either.
Oh, he doesn't seem bad, like Jafar.
Outside of encouraging him to steal stuff,
Terrible.
Yeah, Cruella seems like your
Carla's
mother.
horrible. She's like, Carlos, you can't go. Who's gonna do my hair and scrub my boots? And Carlos is like, maybe I should go. Maybe it wouldn't be that bad. He hates his mom.
Yeah. He like actively wants to go.
Jafar is like, I need Jay to stock the shelves in my store. Jay, what did you find? And Jay pulls out all the stuff he stole. And one of them's a lamp, but it doesn't work. So like, yeah, Jafar, I feel like is the one that makes the least sense.
She's got PTSD, Jafar.
I guess, but like this feels the least like its source material. And the joke is that they're putting Jafar kind of in Aladdin's role
Mhm.
of like a thief. So I don't know. It's fine, I guess. And then Maleficent gets pissed because she wants revenge on all the heroes who wronged them. And she says, "Villains, our day has come." And then Evie is given the little magic mirror from her mom. It's a little handheld thing now. And Maleficent gives Mal her spell book. Everybody knows the famous spell book that Maleficent has, right?
Yeah, it's
Right.
very famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. All these things are gonna work in Ordon because they don't work here. She doesn't give her staff. I guess it'd be kind of obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she
The
just
limo's
shows up
like,
with the staff.
I don't know if you can do that.
Actually, leave that behind.
I'm actually gonna post that somewhere safe.
Yeah.
So actually, in this part is like the first time Kristen Chenoweth and Dove Cameron are like standing on a level like field and right next to each other, and I'm like, holy cow! Dove Cameron is a good like 8 inches tall. Kristen Chenoweth, it's crazy.
Kristen Chenoweth is short.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
It's funny.
but the horns definitely help.
The horns help, yeah. I love the costuming for Maleficent. I think she
Yeah.
looks amazing. So then the limo comes to pick them up. Other parents see them off, and they leave. There's a bunch of candy in the limo. Jay and Carlos wrestle each other. They like constantly being boys wrestling each other.
It's very much brother sibling vibes
Yeah.
between them.
They definitely annoy each other.
Yeah. Evie's like, "Oh, you're looking pale. Let me do your makeup, Mal." And she's like, "No, stop. I'm plotting." And then they cross the magic bridge that only appears when a remote activates it. And
They really draw
love-
direct attention to this,
yeah,
and then they don't bring it back up in this movie.
but they act like they will.
This is a Descendants staple of having a Chekhov gun that doesn't go off. That wasn't fully explored until the Rise of Red.
I love the driver though, because he's like, she's like, was it this button, Mal? And he's like, no, it was this button. And this button closes the partition between us. Like,
Yeah, and she's like, "I like it."
nasty.
Okay, so then they get to Ornon Prep, and the marching band is there to welcome them, and Wheelchair Girl is also.
Yeah.
And then Jay and Carlos wrestle and fight more out of the car. And then Fairy Godmother welcomes them along with Audrey and Ben. Jay tries to flirt with Audrey. Doesn't work. Mal's like, "Oh, hey, Fairy Godmother. Wow, you have a really cool wand. I'd really love to see the wand."
And there's magic here.
Yeah, and Fairy Godmother's like, "Let's not focus on the past. We're here for the present."
There is zero subtlety in
No.
that
Yeah,
first
Absolutely
interaction.
zero. And then Ben introduces himself, and he's like, "I'm Ben." And Audrey says, "Prince Benjamin, soon to be king."
I'm Princess Audrey, Aurora's daughter.
Aurora's daughter. Evie's like, "No."
It's quaint.
Yeah. Evie is like, my mom's a queen, and that makes me a princess. And Audrey says, "The evil queen has no royal status here, and neither do you."
Oh, Audrey.
Yes, but
Very-
I am Princess Audrey, Ben's girlfriend, right, Benny Boo?
I do not call me Benny Boo.
Do you want me to?
Whatever.
Benny Boo. And Fairy Godmother sends him off for a tour with Ben and Audrey. So, yeah, bitch Audrey's just like, "You're not a princess." It's crazy how, like, they have royal status. So, like, Audrey is a princess, but Ben is, like, the prince, and Beast and Belle are the king and queen.
Which that kind of like for how the like whole government system work, is it like they each have like control over their own territory, but they vote for like an overall king?
Maybe.
Is that how it works?
Oh, kind of
I feel
like
like in most-
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You have the Warden of the North, you have the person of like all that stuff, but then like there is the king who kind of like
Yeah.
can issue edicts and everything.
I think technically in like actual kingdom hierarchy, it's supposed to be like those people are supposed to be like lords or
Yeah.
like dukes.
But
not-
like, since these characters are coming where they were kings and queens,
Yeah.
it's like we're not gonna.
We're not going to demote you
That
down.
way.
You're king, but we're the king.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
So Ben is excited to meet the kids, and he stares at Mal a little too long. That's when that happens. It's like, whoa, what? What's happening here? Audrey says, "You're Maleficent's daughter." Yeah, your mom tried to kill my parents. I
But I won't hold it against
won't
you.
hold it against you. My mom is Sleeping Beauty.
Water under the bridge.
And Mal's like, yeah, and I totally don't blame your grandparents for inviting literally everyone to the stupid christening except for my mom. And they do the. All
That was good unison. Way to go, team.
right, let's go on the tour. And then they're walking into school, and outside there's this big statue of Beast in human form. And then Ben does a little clap, clap, and it shifts into a beast. And Carlos freaks out because it's like a dog. And Ben's
Carlos's
like,
entire plot is just, I hate dogs.
I hate dogs because his mom's Cruella, and she murders dogs to make it up clothes. Cruella's actually the baddest of them. I don't know.
She's killing innocent animals.
Yeah.
Austin was killing innocent bodies.
Was she killing or was she putting them to sleep?
Ever.
Just the dragon. Just the dragon breath. Not kill them.
You're right. Well, not in this movie.
That we
We don't
saw.
see Cruella kill a dog in this movie.
We see the after effects of it. Her outfits.
Yeah. So Ben's like, it's cool, Carlos. My dad just wanted this statue to shift to Beast Man to remind everyone that anything is possible. Go inside. And Carlos does the little clap, clap, and it doesn't work again. Why didn't it change back?
Only Ben has that power.
Only Ben can go clap.
Only Ben can turn
It's
you
that
good.
beast ring.
The beast ring controls the statue. Mal is like clapping, applauding, and the statue keeps shifting when she has it. It's like, what the fuck? So now we're in the school. Mal tries to bring up the wand again and magic, and Ben's like, yeah, magic exists, but it's pretty much retired. Most of us here are ordinary mortals who just also happen to be kings and queens.
And
Yeah.
bitchy teenagers.
And then Ben introduces Doug. He's going to give the rest of the tour.
Best
And-
character in the whole movie.
When Doug comes down,
Doug fan.
I'm a Doug stan.
Doug comes down and he's like, hi guys, I'm Doug, Dopey's son. It's crazy how they like introduce themselves as who their parents
They
are.
really just immediately do that, but like it kind of works.
It's funny because like everybody in Oregon knows everybody's story
Yeah.
of like their Disney movie, I guess.
Right,
Well,
so-
it was 20 years
Like,
ago.
and that's the thing, is he doing it because, like, oh, you weren't part of that story for, like, our story, so
Yeah.
you may not know who, like, my parents were.
So like, okay, if Mal and Ben have a kid, right? Would they go, hi, I'm insert name here. I am the kid of Ben and Mal, who is the son of Belle and Beast and the daughter of Maleficent. And spoiler, no, I'm not gonna spoil who her dad is.
Well,
That
it's like,
other guy.
like in history, correct me if I'm wrong, like they would just do the thing where, like, Johnson is the son of John.
Oh,
Right.
Benson.
Yeah. So it might
His
end up
name is
being,
Benson. You heard it here, folks.
it might end up being like that they start doing like a last name thing.
That could be fair.
I don't know.
Otherwise, like,
Beast.
Yeah. My name's Doug Dopeyson.
That's dope as fuck.
best name ever.
I'm Maleficent. Maleficent.
Frida, right?
Maleficent.
Change of Farson sounds good.
Jefferson.
Farson.
That sounds like Jeff Arson.
Yeah, so Doug is spin by Evie, and he also mentions that the kids are going to take Remedial Goodness 101, which is a brand new class just for them. And they go off to find their door.
Everyone else needs remedial goodness. Well, these
I hope Audrey does.
I don't know. Based off on how Audrey acted from the beginning, she might take 101. Maybe not the beginner course, but, you know,
102.
103.
It's like I can skip 101.
Yeah, one semester.
Yeah.
But the questions that they have for that are so insulting, and they still fail.
Yeah.
Mal and Evie go into their dorms, which is very frilly and pretty, and Mal's like, "Oh,
I
this
think
is
they're gonna have
gross."
something to say about the quality of these dorms.
I have a huge issue with these dorms. Couple things. One, why are there just pictures of, like, what looks to be old people, like, girls who used to be in this dorm on their walls?
And everything's pink.
Everything is pink.
Who do you think expel to put these kids in these dorms?
Right.
But, like, on the walls, when they walk into the room, there are literally just pictures of girls on the wall. It's like, it's just like, this used to be her room, and then her room, and Is this school been in process? Like,
20 years.
but like, I mean, the simple fact of like, there's like 8 pictures up there, and like, when did this start? When did they start having kids? Like, I'm just trying to figure out timelines on this because there's a lot of them.
Yeah, so
Well,
it's
this
like,
school has existed before Oregon did. By Rise of Red Logic.
when did they start having kids? Because
Well, they were
is
kids.
Ben's like the first generation of kids
That's
since the
what
Disney
it-
movie?
But
and
there
like,
had to be people who were already born that were going
right.
to
So
school.
it's just like, why? But my
They
question is,
exist in Disney movies.
most rooms though, like, don't just have like, this used to be my room. Here's my picture on the wall.
It should be like that.
They're usually like the main hallways or something, so it's just a little weird. And then number 2, I'll bring this up later when they get to a different room, but I'm just gonna note here: the girls have twin beds in their room.
Maybe twin extra long.
Maybe.
Extra long, like in a regular dorm.
Yes, that's
Yes.
what I said. I told Dylan, I'm like twin extra long. Like,
Kind of makes sense.
yeah.
We'll come back to that later. Just want to note this.
Yeah. They don't have any other amenities like a TV or anything.
So true. Okay.
They have room to have a sewing machine.
Like windows.
They have like desks and windows.
I think they have.
They have a
a
mirror.
fireplace.
Maybe. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
remember.
It's very like really pretty, and Mal's like, oh, gross, and Evie's like, oh my god, yeah, it's so gross, but she's secretly excited about
I
it.
was literally saying it's amazing, and then she was like amazingly disgusting.
Yeah, oh my gosh. And then okay, so we're at the boys' dorm now. So as we see them, they like clear curtains. We go to the boys' room that night, and Carlos is playing video games in him and Jay's room. Now you want to talk about
I
their
want to talk
room?
to. They have full-size beds.
Clearly bigger, full, maybe queen.
Yeah, like these beds are easily much bigger. The room seems bigger. They have a TV.
Later, they're gonna have room for a big 3D printer.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to say Oregon's, giving preferential treatment to one side or the other here, but like, if this is the standard, at least on beds, like, you guys are literally kings and queens. Can you not afford full-size beds for everyone, or what's going on?
Or king and queen size.
I'm trying to
The rooms are definitely big enough for them.
Yeah, it's very weird that they went with the choice of like twin longs for the girls' rooms
They're
and
just
then
saying
full
no,
for
they don't want it to make it easy to have sex in these beds.
For the girls,
the girls.
the boys can fuck all they want.
But yeah, it was just like when I was first like when I realized it, I was like, that's just so weird.
Bullshit. You know why they did it for the movie? So that Carlos could lay next to Doug. Not Doug. I'm starting my own fanfic. So that Carlos could lay next to Dude in his bed and have it be plenty of room, I guess.
I guess, but it's just like the like just amenities in general, like variations from boys to girls dorms is insane to me.
Will say the first time I watched this movie, I literally thought they were in like a common room or something playing video games because I was like, why the hell do they have a TV and not the girls?
Yeah, no, that's just their dorm room. They have a TV
With a
the hell?
game system or something.
The hell? Why do they get special treatment? It's because the movie doesn't do them justice.
They're in their room alone.
Yeah. Okay. So, Jay stole a bunch of stuff because that's what Jay does, and then he tries video game.
Onto that, there's a half-eaten slice of pizza in that what he stole, along with French fries.
Like,
Why are you stealing this?
And he stole a computer.
I will say that later in the movie, when Mal is like, and you love pizza after turning.
But like,
So he loves pizza, and that's why he stole it.
so like, I'm fine with that, but now I'm back to the fries. I'm like, why are we stealing fries?
Stealing fries. He just went down to the lunch.
The dining hall's like
the dining hall.
free.
Take that if you want. Like your meal plan is
Yeah, you stole
included.
a balloon, a national free balloon.
Yeah. Mal tries to keep him on track about stealing the wand to prove themselves to their parents, prove that they're evil and whatnot. And then they look at the magic mirror, and she's like, "Magic
At
mirror."
this exact moment, how much do you know 4 kids individually want to go through with this plan? Because it obviously changes for all of them throughout. But like,
I think they fully do right now.
I don't think Carlos really cares.
No, Carlos
He
is
did. Carlos was never
I don't
evil.
think Evie does either.
I feel like
No.
Mal is the most invested.
Well, because it's Mal's mom is the one freaking out about it.
I think Mal at that point is probably at like 80%.
And Jake wants it to happen.
Jake's probably like a 60-70%. Like, he's invested in it, but he's not like...
It's not the most important thing for him.
And then I think Evie and Carlos are like... Carlos I put at like 10% max. Evie I'd say like...
He doesn't want to go back immediately.
Yeah.
He hates his mom. His mom's crazy.
Like Evie would be like 20 to 10% somewhere there, very low. She's kind of like, it's kind of nice out here. Like,
kind of like it.
I kind of don't want to go back.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's like, I feel like Jay and Mal are definitely the only two with like a vested interest.
Yeah. They're the ones that have to come around the most, for sure. Which is interesting, even like compared to Evie, who's a bigger character. But she's always just kind of like doing it because.
It's more or less like
Mal.
She's supporting Mal through it. Pretty much is what I got out of it.
But Jay is like so ingrained in him about like being a thief, and there's no team and I. Like that's what his dad taught him.
No team and I.
So he really has to overcome that, and Mal has to overcome. Like that's the main plot of the movie. It's like Mal overcoming it. Carlos is just like, I was once scared of dogs.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I actually like dogs.
Did I not go home?
Yeah, I actually hate my mom.
And Evie needs to learn that boys aren't everything.
Yeah.
The castles are.
Yeah. So I love the magic mirror bit where it like shows a wand just zoomed in and like, okay, we don't know where it is. So she's like, mirror not so close. And then it shows the globe. So funny. And she has to zoom all the way in. And they find out it's in a museum. That's 2 miles from here.
That stolen laptop came in handy.
It did. So they go to the museum. It's the Museum of Cultural History.
Can I just say something about them sneaking out?
Yeah.
This is the first night of you bringing villain kids to Oregon. No one's keeping them.
Not even at the museum, which there should be.
But like at the dorm, somebody should be at least like, keeping an eye on them.
First night, don't you think you want to be on a little bit more of an alert?
Yeah, and then like lower it as they're doing good. This is night one, and these kids are sneaking away.
They need to be a little bit more racist here, okay?
This whole film would have been better with more racism.
I'm saying evil is a race.
Yeah, I'm like, they're not really the same race, though. So.
Prejudice.
Yeah, prejudice. Yeah, so they're at the museum. Inside, there's only one security guard.
This setup is so fucked up.
It's horrible. Why entrance?
No villains here.
It's like there's an
steal.
It's literally entrance, conveniently Maleficent spinning wheel, security.
With all the cameras.
Yeah. Always. The
back entrance, maybe?
Yeah, literally, like, they walk in through the door. It's literally like a display of Maleficent's, like, spinning wheel. And there are, like, stanchions, those, like the poles with the ropes, on the sides of it, but not on the front.
I'm sorry.
On the back, where the security is, and all the security, like, screens are facing where everyone can see.
And it's also the cameras are zoomed in all the way on all of the things that are important. Like you see a trident, you see the lamp, like all these Disney things, but you can't see the area around them at all. So if somebody was doing fucking shit, yeah, you would just see someone's hand stole the lamp. That's crazy. Second, if this is Maleficent's spinning wheel that is on display, why is the security guard walking right there? Do they have to walk around the security guard? The people just visiting the museum that want to see the spinning wheel?
Right. So, I would be so annoyed if I was a security
guard. Yeah, I'd be like, oh.
So what you don't know is this museum was funded by Aurora and her family. So the spinning wheel is the most important thing.
Why is it by the security guard then?
High stakes security on it.
I am curious about the funding and this is the type of stupid shit I love in worlds like this. I want to know the legislation rules. I want to know who's the big donors that made this. Are they getting tax write-offs to donate their weapons? They're giving up these magical items, but can they grab them back? If the fairy godmother said, I don't want to give that anymore, do they get it back? Is it on loan?
That's what I was going to say. Is it on loan, or is it an exhibit they curated?
Property?
Well, that's the thing is one of the things you see is Ariel's dad's trident.
Yeah.
And it's okay, is...
Also, that means Ariel's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's Ursula?
So it's at that point, it's okay, is he just like giving that up as in like wasn't that like a key plot? Like that's kind of what gave him control over the seas?
Is he not in the ocean anymore?
Right. I also, since we're already talking about this like museum and the like technicalities of it, the only villains in the villain display are the 4 we have seen.
That's so
Okay.
weird.
I did come up with a concept for that specifically. And
They're
it's
the 4 worst.
no. It's actually because museums will often do specific exhibits
Yeah.
that are relate to consumer interests. The consumers are going to be the people who potentially go to the museum going to be more interested in what villains right now, the ones whose kids are coming to Oregon.
They put them in the
I
front.
see, like, and I could buy that explanation if
Yeah.
like, that's what it was.
And they probably have more just like further back. But those are the 4 that are in the front.
They are highlighted.
Well, like they also show like the gallery of heroes.
They got wax figures.
I'm like, I want to go in there. Which heroes are on display right now?
You see Beast in his beast form?
I'm like,
That'd be
is
pretty
it
cool?
because like if you're doing a gallery of villains and those are the 4 like main ones, are you doing like the heroes who beat them in that for the gallery
Aladdin?
of heroes?
That's pretty cool.
So it'd be like, so it'd be Aladdin. It would be. I
Yeah.
think it's what Prince Philip for Maleficent.
Uh-huh.
Sleeping Beauty.
And
Well,
Sleeping
yeah, but
Prince Charming.
Prince
Cruella de Vil.
Charming.
So is it the dogs? Just the 2.
The Dalmatian?
It's just
101.
there's just the 101 Dalmatian figurines in there.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, so anyway. The one security guard is there and he's next to the wheel and the guys tease Mal about it that the wheel is dorky or something. And then Mal's like, whatever. And she does a spell that makes him prick his finger on the spinning wheel and go to sleep. Like in the original.
All of her spells are very fake sounding.
Yeah.
They seem silly.
Yeah.
Very much so. But she actually does 2 spells. Her first one she tries doesn't work.
Yeah, that was
They never explain why it doesn't.
Yeah,
I always thought it was like that was part 1 of the spell and then she continued the spell.
But she had a big dramatic pause where
Yeah.
she's waiting to see if it works.
Well, I think someone like talks in between and then she's like, shut up. And then she like continues talking.
it could be that. I like the one I watched the movie. I took it as
It was 2 different
one
spells.
spell. Jay comments on how like, oh, that was really useful.
Maybe one activated the spinning wheel and the other one made him prick his finger.
Maybe.
Yeah, that would actually make sense. I could.
Y'all are so smart.
Oh my god. So it works. He goes to sleep and she's like, not so dorky now.
On the exhibit.
Yeah. But then they can't get in because the door's locked. So Jay's like, I got this, and he's gonna kick open the door. But then she just uses the spell to open the door and he falls.
Carlos is so nice as well. He tries to help him up and everything. He's just like, no, leave me alone.
He's like, I work alone.
Yeah.
Which Ben
I'm not going to learn how to be a part of a team.
Yeah, Ben brought up a good point that he is in the gang of 4 though. But he doesn't know how to work on a team. He has 3 friends.
Well, maybe they do things alone. Maybe he goes. Mal is
Solo
like, go
missions.
do this. Yeah, solo missions.
Solo missions.
But then that's still working as a team.
But not in the same way.
Not the same way. So then they go to the gallery of villains where we see only the 4 bears.
Yeah, like discussed.
And they're like, oh my god, they look so scary.
And they're just kind of
Yeah.
wax sculptures.
The other kids leave, but Mal lingers, and Maleficent comes to life.
Mother.
Oh yeah, she sings like, look at you, look at me, I don't know who to be, mother.
Am I
It's like-
supposed to be a thief in the night, mother? Something like that.
It's
yeah.
like the 20% about like maybe not wanting to do it.
Yeah.
Is like kind of being like,
Yeah.
that's where you kind of start to see the hesitation a little bit.
Little bit, but then Maleficent comes alive, and she's like,
she licks her staff.
She does. Finger licking, and she like licks her staff.
Yes.
Gross.
I was like, ew.
Kristen Chenoweth came to play, and
Yeah.
they said, hey, we got Kristen Chenoweth, we're making a
Here is a blank check. Go find
Yeah,
it.
and they give her a very Broadway-like song that really
Yeah.
just doesn't fit.
This
with
is what I'm
the
saying.
Music.
There's a world where this song fits perfectly fine in the vibes of the movie, but the rest of the songs don't fit it.
The
Yeah,
rest
it's
was-
just this one just stands out
This
the
is-
most as
This is
not.
very different from Ron to the Core. Ron to the Core is very different than a lot of the other stuff. I think, did I mention an If Only feel like they're from the same movie?
And that's it.
And then set it off as the most generic song I've ever heard. And Be Our Guest is like a remix of an old song. Like, that's also different.
I feel like Be Our Guest and Rotten to the Core both have that like hip hoppy, so. But yeah, this one just doesn't. It's a totally different vibe.
It's just like
and we don't come back.
Let's pause the movie for a little bit to watch Kristen Chenoweth do her thing, and then we'll go back to the movie.
It definitely comes off as
It's like an uncanon
like
song.
comes off very show tuney, which no problems with that.
Yeah.
It's just like if you once you finish the whole movie, you're like,
oh yeah, that happened.
That was a movie that was a song that just didn't kind of vibe with everything.
They just
but
needed Kristen Chenoweth to do something.
it was good, still good.
It's not on most soundtracks if you listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah. No, I feel like it's definitely the most forgotten song, even more than "Be Our Guest."
Yeah, Be Our Guest is still forgotten.
Be Our Guest was on the soundtrack.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Maleficent, the whole song is just her being like, "You should be evil. Don't you want to be evil like me?" And there's this one part where like she starts flying. It's just like, oh, she's on a wire, and there's like fake blue flames.
Yeah,
that was
really
so dumb.
I'm gonna say, in terms of mother telling daughter to be evil songs, Love Ain't It clears it with flying.
Yeah,
colors.
True.
Okay, but Rita Ora too.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, like
Kristen Chenoweth.
I know, but it's Rita Ora. Like they've leaned into Christian's like wheelhouse, and they've leaned into Rita Ora's, but Rita's Ora's fit better with
the Descendants.
Yes, exactly.
Bringing just the entire musical vibe of that movie.
Yeah.
I like it when they sing together at the end, though. When Dove Cameron comes in, because they vibe really well together.
Yes,
so that was good.
Another place where you can see their stark height difference.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, so then the song ends. Evie found the wand, and oh my god, Maleficent's back to a wax figure. It was all in Mal's head. It's crazy. I hate having to switch between Maleficent and Mal. It's the same fucking name.
Yeah,
you can say Mal and Mal Jr.
Mal 1, Mal 2.
All right, so then they go
Big Mal. Big Mal.
So then they go to the wand, and it's floating in a magic force field thing. And Jay goes to grab it, and Mal's like, "No, Jay, don't!" But he's gonna do it. And she's like, "No, Jay, stop!" But he does it anyway.
Anyway, like
because he was on his own terms, even though they're all there.
He doesn't work as part of a team.
He's the thief in the group. He's gonna be the one to take it.
So he gets blasted by the force field, and then a siren goes off, and they're like, "A siren and a force field? A little excessive." It's the most powerful thing
that you know of at this point.
Like, what the heck? Okay. So the kids run off, and the security guard just never sees them. It's like Scooby-Doo. Like, they just run away.
And he wakes up right after.
Yeah, he wakes up to the sirens, and then he goes to chase them, but they just run away, and he never sees them. And then as they're leaving, Carlos turns off the alarm and talks to the guy on the phone. It was like, "Oh yeah, it's just false alarm. Yeah, say hi to the missus."
He was like the only one who stopped to actually think about stopping it.
Yeah.
Say that.
He just
looked in the book. Apparently it worked.
No, how does he know to say hi to the missus?
Oh, I think it's just being charming.
That's a cultural thing that he's not going to know about living on the Isle.
They get married, right?
Are they going to say hi to the missus?
No.
Do you think Christian Chenoweth's husband would be like, say hi to the missus to someone else?
Maybe not them.
But other people on the island aren't as bad.
Gaston.
Gaston would be say hi to the missus.
Say hi to the missus.
Okay, you're right.
Also, I just kind of feel like it was just kind of like a offhanded, let's say hi to the missus, not necessarily like
not the most difficult.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm saying like,
how do you even know
what cultural reason would he have to even know to say that? Yeah.
Apparently in the books, Carlos is like a computer whiz.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, he has a 3D printer.
Yeah. Yeah. So
later,
whatever.
not in this one.
Yeah, not in this one, but the next one. Yeah. Okay. So they get away, no problem. So now it's a new day at school. Fairy Godmother gives multiple choice in remedial goodness of what to do if you see a crying baby.
Ooh, what do you think you should do, class? You should steal his candy.
You should kill it.
Drop it.
I think, you should give it a bottle.
You were right, Don.
Damn, you're not
Gosh, you're on a roll.
Just pick the one that's less fun.
Mal, yeah, that's what Mal does. He says, "I'm gonna just pick the ones that don't sound like any fun." And Evie's like, "That makes sense."
For getting this wrong. Like, I thought they were being a joke, and like intentionally doing it wrong because it's so obvious of questions. But no, apparently this is hard for them.
It's funny. And then Jane comes in to have fairy godmother like sign a permission form or
She's
something.
got a shitty haircut.
Yeah,
It's
her hair
very
is
This is
stupid.
plot relevant.
Yeah, so we learned that Jane is fairy godmother's daughter.
Yeah, you can tell from the name.
Yeah. And ugly hair in this movie is just like a bob. You can't have a bob. It's ugly as fuck. What the hell? Um, yeah, so Jane is scared of the VKs. They never call them VKs in this one.
No.
And they really run with it in the next ones. VKs, for those who don't know, is villain kids. And that's what they call themselves in every other movie. But not the first one. Yeah, and then they answer more questions on how to be good, and Jay and Carlos wrestle more, and Fairy Godmother's like, I recommend you putting that energy on the tourney field. So let me go to the tourney field. And the coach blows his whistle. Jane Ben on offense, Chad defense, and then he tells Carlos, he's like, hey, Lost Boy, put your helmet on and get out of the kill zone. Tourney is weird.
Tourney is it's very similar-ish. It's clearly inspired by like the Irish sport of hurling, and that's like a very lacrosse-like game.
Yeah.
But this, first off, tourney is a stupid ass name for a sport. What are you gonna have a tourney?
Yeah, tourney for tourney.
That's stupid. Second of all, the sport itself is dumb because of like kill zones are just like excuses to do cannon fires.
Yeah, they just launch shit at the
It doesn't seem
kids.
that fun.
It seems like they're like frisbees.
Yeah.
I just don't get the appeal of this sport, and its rules are kind of weird. They could have done some like jousting thing, and it would have made way
That
more
was
sense.
cool. But that's not really a team sport. They could have just played soccer
Yeah,
With a kill zone.
or cross. They could have just done
No,
the
instead they
cross.
wanted to use wooden paddles.
Yeah, in this kill zone.
Honestly though, Jay is so cool. Like I'm like, how are you tossing a ball back and forth on a wooden paddle and like actually holding it?
It's because it's fake. But yeah, Jay just like kills it, and Rotten to the Core music is playing while he's just running around. He's knocking everybody over.
including his own teammates.
Yeah, including Ben, who's his teammate.
and
Yeah, gonna be the king. That's why it's so weird. Like, the king is gonna be in school. Imagine, like, you're a teacher and you're teaching the actual active king. A week ago, he wasn't the king. And his dad is a perfectly able 40-year-old man.
50-ish.
Let's just never expel the king.
Younger than our current president. But he's like, my 16-year-old boy, my 16-year-old son needs to be king now.
Yeah.
I
Like-
think it's a power move. He's worried the monarchy is going to get overthrown for democratic elections after he overthrew the elections to be monarchy.
Mhm.
So he's like, I gotta set him up for life.
So, yeah, okay, after Jay scores, the coach is impressed with him, and he calls him over, and Audrey's also there, and she's mad. She's a cheerleader. And coach was like, Jay, what do you call that? I'd call it raw talent. Come by later, and I'll show you something you've never seen before. A rule book.
Yup.
Welcome to the team.
That's basically what he does.
Yeah, it's weird. And then he looks at Carlos, and he's like, you ever think about band?
Roasted.
And Ben's like, I'll work with him, coach.
I'll train Carlos up. He'll be good by the end of this. And
Cute training
And
montage.
then they break to like he's like, all right, let's run it again. And before Jay can go on the field, Chad is like looking at him angrily. But then he goes by, and then it goes rotten to the poor.
that's a commercial break.
Yeah, commercial break. You know it's a commercial break when they say rotten to the poor. So then Ben, Chad, and Audrey are outside in the locker outside hallway. I grew up in Minnesota, so I never see
That wouldn't
stuff like
happen.
this. But it does in other states. They like lockers outside. It's weird.
Typically warmer weather states.
Yeah, not Minnesota.
It'll be frozen shut.
Zoe 101. We have those too.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
Also
That
the
was a boarding school too, just like Oregon Prep.
also the fact
No,
that
it wasn't even called that yet.
they graffitied the outside of these lockers.
Smell. Graffitied, and Benji was like, "What about the lockers next to her?" I'm like, "Those are her friends' lockers. They don't care."
Yeah.
Like that's Evie's.
Jane's part of a team.
It's like Evie's and Carlos's locker.
But also, even if they were other people's lockers, do you think Mal cares?
no,
Exactly.
she's rotten
To the
to the core. Yeah. So Ben, Chad, and Audrey spot Mal and Evie outside the lockers, and Chad's like, "Those two are trouble." And Ben's like, "Give him a chance. Give him a chance." And then Audrey tells Ben that he's too trusting. Sometimes the evil fairy is just the evil fairy.
Yeah, sometimes they're gonna give you like a potion to manipulate you,
And
and you'll just trust them and eat it.
And then not care that it happened.
Yep, and then be totally fine.
though I will say, in this moment, Ben seems annoyed with Audrey.
Audrey.
Yeah, they were never good for each other.
No.
No,
I
I don't know
we
why
never
he's
saw
dating
them
her.
going good for status.
Yeah.
Arranged marriage, probably.
It's probably, hey, they're one of the more powerful king queens. Let's
Yeah.
merge our lines.
She's kind of hot.
She's hot.
She's a little crazy.
Okay.
She's the daughter of someone named Beauty.
So is he.
Oh my god. Ben says, "You're wrong about them." And he goes to talk with Mal. And
He's
Ben-
a total simp for Mal in this moment.
he is. He's like, "How's your first day?" And she's like, "It's fine." And he's like, "You should join art class with the spray paint talent." And
Take with fun out of it.
yeah, way to take the
Sure.
fun out of it. But she saw Jane walk by, so she's preoccupied with that. So then she just leaves Ben. So she goes to talk to Jane in the bathroom. And she's like, "Oh, hey, Jane. I was just hoping to make friends. I guess you don't be friends with me because I'm a villain. You probably have so many friends already." And Jane's like, "Hardly." And she's like, "Really? With your mom being fairy godmother and head mistress? Not to mention your personality." She's calling her ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Jane's like, "I'd rather be pretty. You have great hair." By the way, this is a great time to mention it. The evil kids have colored hair.
We
Except
haven't
Jay.
mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah. So Mal's hair is purple
Yeah, but only Evie and Mal.
and Carlos
Carlos
has
is
white
white.
hair.
Okay.
White and black.
Yeah, I was like,
And yeah, Jay has brown hair, which is fine.
like natural.
It's like such a thing that only the evil kids have colored hair at first, but then by the time of
It's
the
the
third
Disney standards
movie,
of only evil characters can have interesting designs.
yeah, by the time of the third movie in Rise of Red, they're like, just kidding, everybody has funky colored hair.
But I mean, at that point, well, I know, I guess they flash back, and the good characters have.
Well, okay, by Rise of Red, they try to retcon, and they're like,
Yeah.
Cinderella had blue hair the whole time, guys. Stupid.
Technically, we never saw her officially.
Where's the Chad? Why doesn't Chad have blue hair?
He's
Why is Chad white?
That's
Literally,
your question, bud.
both of his parents neither
Are
one
not
are
white. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Recessive genes. Recessive genes.
But that's
very recessive.
both of them have white somewhere in their genes.
Very,
And they made them white as boy.
White boys that were Disney.
That's a Rise of Red discussion point.
We'll get there in like
There's
a year.
many Rise of Red discussion points.
Yeah. So Mal pulls out her spell book and does a spell to give Jane nicer hair, which just means it's longer and big curls.
A little curly.
You
In
know,
all
She had a
fairness-
blowout.
yeah, she had a blowout.
In all fairness, it does look better than it
It does, but why? They're just like ugly means Bob.
Yeah.
So then Jane's like, "Do my nose," but Mal's like, "I can't do big magic like your mom and her what?"
It's just the way that she says is like, your nose is so fucked up beyond belief.
It's
I
so
can't
big.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her house is fine, by the way. She's like, Jane's like, "My mom doesn't use her wand anymore. She believes real magic is in the books and not spell books, like real books with history and stuff." And Mal's like, "What a rip. She used magic on Cinderella, who wasn't even her real daughter.
Good one.
Doesn't she love you?"
The manipulation is
It's
real.
so good. This is where Dove Cameron's so good. Manipulating the shit out of her. And Shane's like, "Of course she loves me. It's just tough love. Work on the inside, not the outside, that sort of thing." And Mal's like, "That's the face. Just pout and beg and say Mom, I just want to be beautiful too." And Jane's like, "Do you think that'll work?" And Mal's like, "It worked for Cindy, right?"
Cindy.
And hey, if your mom does decide to use the wand, invite me. And
Very Subtle.
Yeah, and Jane's like, "You're so there," which why would she invite Mel?
Because they're friends now,
I
apparently.
guess.
Besties.
It's like, I want to see you turn from
Jane
hideous.
doesn't have any friends.
Yeah, I guess.
Apparently she's friends with Audrey later.
Oh. So then in science class, chemistry, Evie asks Doug if Chad is in line for the throne, anywhere in line. And Doug's like, Chad, Prince Charming Jr., Cinderella's son. This is where we learn who he is, because we didn't know before.
Yeah, he couldn't introduce himself. Hi, I'm Chad, Cinderella's son.
Prince Charming's son, Prince Charming Jr. So Doug always is like, this is who their parents are. Chad inherited the charm, but not a lot of there.
Mm.
Know what I mean? And Evie's like, it looks like they're there to me. And then the teacher asks Evie what the average atomic weight of silver is.
Stupid question.
I mean, not very much. It's an atom, right?
I mean,
Great
they're what,
answer.
16? I
Yeah.
was learning that at 16. I didn't never really
Their
good in chemistry.
number.
It's like a calculation you can do again.
But here's the thing: atomic numbers are almost always just you look on the periodic table and find it.
That's what I'm saying. You would just look at the.
Like, I never remember learning that in chemistry.
I definitely did,
I
but
find it.
I don't know. Yeah. So then Evie goes to the board and she uses her mirror to give the correct answer of the calculations, and she gets the answer in AMU. AMU.
It's supposed to be an AMU.
It's so funny.
Atomic
AMU.
metric.
atomical mass unit. Yeah.
AMU.
Damn.
And then Chad gives Evie a note that says, "Meet me under the bleachers at 3."
Which is so fuckboy.
I know.
They're both trying to use each other, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. So we get a little scene of on the field, Ben is going to have Carlos do some sprints, but then Carlos runs very fast because a dog starts chasing him. And he runs into a tree because that dog's a killer. But Ben's like, no, it's just a dog. It's just the campus mutt. His name is Dude.
And this is all it takes for Carlos to immediately be okay.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this dog doesn't look mean. And then he holds Dude.
Well, I was holding dude.
Well, yeah, and then Ben gives
Yeah.
him to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, look how far he's come. He's holding a dog.
Yeah.
And Ben's like, I guess you guys have it pretty rough on the island. They say the island a lot,
They do. They never say the aisle.
which is so weird compared to the rest of the series where it's like the Isle,
Yeah.
right? It's crazy. Yeah, so he's like, you guys had it pretty rough on the island. And Carlos says, yeah, let's just say we don't get a lot of belly rubs.
No.
So sad.
Oh, okay. So he's like, we don't get belly rubs, and then Ben says, good boy. I mean, you're a good runner, haha. Like, this is so weird.
I was so hoping for the romantic
You want
bond
that?
to start.
You want Ben and Carlos?
Carlos.
No, not the dog.
No, I'm saying Ben is the dog.
Oh,
Because he's a little beast.
he got that dog in it.
Okay. He's like, I'll let you spend some time with the dog. And he like leaves him alone. So Carlos has a dog now. His name's Dude, who's secretly a girl.
Do that.
Dude cat.
Like, no, in the film, the actress for Dude plays a guy.
Yeah.
Because Dude
Gender
in the
bend.
next ones is definitely male.
Yes.
But the
Because don't
dog is
forget,
still a girl.
Descendants is the franchise that has a talking dog that you forget has a talking dog.
I know. Guys, appreciate this movie where the dog doesn't talk. I think it's better that way.
Yes.
Things were simpler here.
Yeah.
These were simpler
This
times.
is
Yeah.
just like the Airbud franchise.
Yeah. Okay, so now we have Chad and Evie talking under the bleachers, and they're flirty. And Evie's like, oh, you have a castle? Your parents are like Cinderella and Prince Charming. And she tries to kiss him, but he keeps talking instead, and he's like, wow, you're really smart. And Evie's like, I'm not that smart. Like, but I don't know how to sew and clean and stuff like Cinderella. And then she shows him the magic mirror. And she's like, look, it like shows me stuff. And
Yeah, this is how I cheated.
yeah, and he's like, where's my cell phone? And she's like, it doesn't work for you. It's silly. And then she brings up her godmother, and she's like, hey, I heard her wand is in a museum. Do they always leave it there? And they're about to kiss. And then Chad's like, oh, I wish we could keep talking, but I'm so swamped.
Oh.
He's being very dramatic and boy like. Maybe you could just do my homework as well as yours, and then we can get together sometime. And hey, And Evie's like, okay.
She's a simp.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, thanks, bye. And he leaves. And then Doug appears, which my computer autocorrected to Doe.
Nice.
Doe appears. Doug appears. And Evie's like, are you stalking me? And he's like,
Technically.
technically, yes. But also, I take fascination in Fairy Godmother's wand, which is why I look forward to the coronation. Perhaps we could sit next to each other and discuss its attributes.
This is a stupid way to ask someone out.
She says, are you saying it's used in the coronation? And he says, yes. And asking you out.
This is a very awkwardly worded way to get to the point.
And she just smiles at him and leaves.
Yeah. Poor Doug.
Thanks for the information. Bye.
Thanks, bye. So now we're in Mal and Evie's room, and Evie is sewing. And Jane is also there, and she's complaining about her mom. She said, the mom said, Fairy Godmother said, if a boy can't see the beauty within, then he's not worth it. I'm never going to get a boyfriend. Mal's like, boyfriends are overrated. And Evie's like, how would you know, Mal? You've never had one.
Oh, isn't this fucking Huck erasure?
Harry?
Harry erasure?
Yeah. I
We
mean, that's
call
not
him.
confirmed in the movies, but wasn't it in the books that they had a thing?
I think so.
And also, they did in real life, so that might be like,
Right.
How they retconned it.
yeah. Anyway,
But it is retcon based.
yeah. Mal's like, I don't need one, E. They're a waste of time. And then Evie's like, oh my god, I forgot about Chad's homework. And Mal's like, case in point. And then Lonnie shows up. Meet Lonnie. She comes in and she says, hey, I'm Lonnie. Mulan's daughter.
Mulan's daughter.
Mulan's daughter. Obviously, we all have to know who each other's parents are. And she's like, I love Jane's hair. And I know you hate us and you're evil, but do you think you could do mine?
Way to introduce.
Lonnie's hair is in a bob with bangs.
Yeah.
That means it's
this
ugly.
is the peak hairstyle of Aragon.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's like, would you do my hair? And Mal's like, why would I do that? And she's like, because I'll pay you $50. And Evie's like, deal. I need more material.
Yeah.
Evie's doing nothing as a part of this. It's all Mal.
Well, she tries to give advice. She's like, let's like get some layers and color. And Lonnie says, no, I want cool hair like Mal's. And Evie says, oh, really? With the split ends too?
I wrote that down too. I was like, Evie is savage.
Yeah. Yeah. So then Mal does the spell, and yeah, she doesn't have a bob anymore. It's long, big beach wavy hair. That's
And
brown.
she definitely has like highlights.
Yeah, highlights. And this means it's cool,
Yeah, it's cool now.
I guess.
Not
It's
quite.
pretty fucking basic to me, but whatever.
It looks like you styled it.
Evie says it looks like a mop on her head. And we should like cut and layer. And Lonnie says, no, I love it, but rip skirt. Now I'm cool.
And her rip on her skirt, not visible.
You can't even
No.
tell. Because it's like her skirt's kind of ruffled a little bit. So you can't even tell there's a rip. But then Jane comes over and rips her skirt too.
And that one you can notice.
Yeah.
The dress.
Yeah. So they're like rebelling.
Oh my god, are they turning evil?
Bad influences.
Yeah.
Are they rotten to the core?
Rotten on the flesh.
Rotten on the skins.
Rotten in the skirt.
Doesn't have the same vibe.
Yeah. So then we get a little scene of Coach talking with Jay on the bleachers. He's excited to have a tough guy like Jay on the team. Jay's like, yeah, where I come from, it's prepare to die, sucker. And as my dad always says, the only way to win is to make sure everyone else loses. And Coach cuts him off, which I thought that was funny. He's like so like pumped up. He's like,
He's ready.
everyone else loses. And he's like, no, you gotta work on a team, Jay. It's like a family. He's like, no, I don't have family. And he's like, okay, it's like a body where all the parts need each other and work together to win.
Can I be the fist?
Yes, Jay, you can be the fist. And he gets his jersey, and it's number 8. And I didn't know if that was a reference to anything Aladdin related. I thought it's an hourglass. Oh,
And the sand.
no, it just kind of
desert.
feels like kind of serpenty, also.
Yeah.
We know that Carlos's number is 101. Which
Yeah.
I can't figure out that reference.
Oh, what?
And not Carlos. And Ben is number 7, which I don't know if that means
Lucky.
anything, I guess.
Seven Dwarf.
No, because I would be like Doug, but he's in the band.
He's in the band. Anyway, Jay shows the other VKs his New Jersey, and they're all in Mal and Evie's room, and he's like, so did the plan with Jane work? And Mal's like, do you think I'd be going through every spell in this book if I hadn't completely struck out? Like, damn, someone's in a bad mood. And Mal's like, parents are counting on us. And Jay's like, we can do this if we stick together. It's like
We're a
clicking with him.
team.
Yeah, it's like clicking with him to like
Yeah.
work as a
Yeah, the boys, they immediately like learn their lesson in one scene.
yeah. And then Mal's like, and we won't go back until we do. Because we're rotten. To the
To the
core.
Killing this.
Millions.
Like,
And then Evie's like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention they used the wand at the coronation and we all get to go. I have nothing to wear, of course.
Yeah, he's like not even necessarily like, oh, we can steal the wand there or anything.
Well, that was good intel though.
Yeah, but it's like she mentioned it because it's like, oh,
Oh, by the way.
I can't wear anything.
Yeah.
it literally, that was that moment. I was like, she would not care less about this.
Yeah,
plan.
for real, for real. But she was like getting intel. Because she asked Chad about it and then she got intel from Doug. But yeah. So she's helping, but she doesn't really care. And then there's a knock at the door. Mal's like, hold that thought. And she answers, and it's Ben. Ben's like, hey guys. I just didn't see you today, so I want to check in. Notice he went to Mal and Evie's room because he wanted to see Mal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is where I'm like, oh, the whole love potion that I've previously gotten mad about as being a little like low key date rapey.
He was
I'm like,
into
he's-
her.
He's simping.
No, he
Yeah.
is fully just horn dog now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't much for the love potion to work. It just kind of tipped him over the edge a little bit and made him act a little kooky.
It made him like get rid of Audrey.
Yeah, basically.
Made him realize she's not the one.
Yeah. Mal asks about them going to coronation, and he's like, "Oh yeah, the whole school goes." And then Mal asks to stand up front.
They also are talking about this coronation like it's happened before.
First coronation ever, because Ordon was only created 20 years ago. But apparently they have this whole ceremony set up
That everyone
where the
knows all
16-year-old,
the steps of.
the 16-year-old is going to be coronated.
He gets coronated every year.
Maybe like,
Is it a rotating?
I mean, maybe like Audrey's already been coronated as like princess or whatever. I don't know.
way. I don't know.
They don't even do any spells with the wand. They could have used a replacement.
Could use a fake one,
Yeah.
for real. But it's cool to use the real thing.
They didn't have 3D printers back then.
True. It was only invented a year later. Okay, so then, yeah, Mal's like, can we stand up front next to Fairy Godmother to soak in all the goodness? And Ben's like, I wish you could, but, up front it's just me, my folks, and my girlfriend, which, by the way, is such a lie because there's a whole crowd of people
Yeah.
next to him. But whatever. He's like, the only people I can, like, bring up with me is my girlfriend.
Probably like royal advisors and stuff.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, thanks, bye. And so that she ushers him out. And she says, it's time for Benny Boo to get a new girlfriend. So then that night they're making love spell cookies in the kitchen. And the last ingredient is a real tear. But Mal's like, I never cry, so I can't get one. And Jay's like, let's just cut an onion. And he says, no, it has to be a tear of human sadness. And Evie explains that sad tears have more protein than reflex tears.
That seems
Why?
it just seems like why tears don't have protein.
Maybe they do.
They have different. No, they've studied different types of tears, like angry, reflex, sad, like pain. I guess would be reflex. And they like have different structure.
Interesting.
Mhm.
But do they have protein?
I mean, it's like sweat.
Okay, I'm thinking of like nutrition protein, not like molecular protein, which I guess that's a different thing.
Mm.
Okay.
Anyway, Evie's like smart now. And then Lonnie comes in. And she's like, hey Mal, all the girls want you to do their hair.
Even though you're like evil and shit.
Are you guys making cookies? And then she dips her finger in their dough. How rude.
It's
Villain.
disrespect.
And she's like, what, I'm not going to double dip? Girl, you already stuck your dirty ass finger in my dough.
I didn't watch you wash your hands.
Yeah. And she tries it, and they're like, oh my god, no, because they think the love spell will work.
Anything?
And then Jay, like, flirts with her. And she's like, no, it could use some chips. some chocolate chips. You know, like when you're sad and your mom would like make you chocolate chip cookies.
And all the kids are like,
Apparently Mulan did this.
Right.
imagine in
Feudal
Mulan,
China?
a traditional housewife.
You think they had
Very
chocolate
fun to
chips
make.
in feudal China?
Olive kind of knew the chocolate chips were coming.
If I learned anything from Winnie Wu Homecoming Warrior, she was making moon cakes.
Think, do something more culturally appropriate, Lonnie.
I don't know. She grew up in Oregon though, which is so fucking white.
You're right.
Anyway. They're like, no, we don't know what that's like. We have shitty parents. And they're like, I thought even villains love their kids. And they're like, no. And then she cries. And they get her tear and say, okay, bye. Evil dreams. Evil dreams.
Just randomly snatching a tear off your face.
Yeah. Putting it
Throwing
in
it
your
in
nose.
the, you know.
It's pretty smooth. It's pretty like, you don't even know what's happening. Okay, bye, Lonnie. Thanks for the tear. And they make cookies. So it's a new day. All the girls love their new hair and they wave at Mal and say, hey, Mal.
Hey Mal, you're on face.
He's at her locker. And then Jay comes up and he's like, Mal, are you feeling weird about this? It's not so bad here.
Everyone loves you.
And Mal's like, are you insane? Long live evil. You're mean. You're awful. You're bad news. Snap out of it. And Jay says, thanks, Mal. I needed that. And then he goes and flirts with the girls. And then Audrey's with Ben down the way, and she's appalled that Mal did all the girls' hair. And Ben's like, what's the harm? And she says, it's gateway magic. It starts with the hair, and then it's the lips, and legs, and clothes, and then everyone looks good. And
Audrey would be a part of Dare.
100%.
yeah, she said, everybody's going to look good, and then where would I be?
And Ben is so clearly annoyed.
Yeah, and he doesn't even get to answer because she interrupts him and then leaves.
Yeah.
Because he's got a fitting for just for the coronation.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it would be a shame if she didn't get to be a part of it.
Yeah.
That never happened.
So then Mal calls Ben over. Oh, Benny Boo. And she offers him a cookie. He says no at first because he's a big name, so he doesn't want to eat a big cookie before the game. And she's like, oh, yeah, careful not to accept treats from villain kids, right? And yeah, makes sense. She's like guilting him. But he's like, no, see, I totally trust you. And he eats it. And he's like, well, is that walnuts? I love walnuts. See, that line delivery, I'm like, that's Zac Efron. He would do that. But whatever.
I've had her brownies. They're delicious.
Yeah, I've had that. I've had a brownies. And then like the love potion kicks in, and Jay comes over and he's like, "How do you feeling, bro?" And he's like, "I feel like singing your name, Mel." And they're like, "Whoa, okay." So the love potion worked, and now they're at the tourney game, and there's lots of school spirit happening. Jay's on the bench.
Audrey's a cheerleader.
Yeah, obvious cheerleader. She's like dancing with the horse that has the two people in it. Like one's the butt and one's the head, and she's like dancing with it. And Jay's on the bench, and he's like, "Go get him, Chad."
Yeah, let's go beat the Falcons.
Yeah, okay. Falcons. What is Ordons? Are they the Knights?
They're the Knights.
Yeah, they're the Knights.
That makes sense.
Which makes more sense.
Yeah.
Falcons.
I mean, wasn't it Sherwood? So, like, Forest, Falcons,
Okay.
Forest.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And coach like, "You're up, Jay." And Jay's like, "Hey, can Carlos play too? You said yourself the team's made up of a bunch of parts." And he's like, "My brain." And Carlos is like, "This is a bad idea," but coach is like, "All right."
Get out of there, Amir. And
Yeah.
he runs off. It's like, oh, poor Amir.
There's a guy named Amir, and he's like, "Amir, get off the field. We have to let Carlos play."
Because our star player won't play without.
Yeah. So they both go out there, and they do the sports, and they work together, and they win.
Oh my god. And oh my god, wait. Did Jay pass the ball?
To Ben, yeah, he let Ben have the winning shot because he knows how to work on a team now.
Yeah. And announcers like announcing this historic win, celebrating it.
I feel like this is just an average fucking game and like nothing special about it.
Any stakes on this game, but they give this giant ass MVP trophy to Jay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it really makes me laugh because, like, they're a regular season random game.
I'm
They played
assuming.
in one game?
Yeah, he's been in one game and they're like, you get this giant ass trophy. Congrats, man. They're like, we really gotta make the villain kid feel like he's good and like boost his ego, but not too bad, but like in a nice way. Anyway, Ben grabs the microphone and he says, "There's something I would like to say." And there's like a huge pause. And he goes, "Give me an M. Give me an A.
Hey!
Give me an L. What's that spell?"
No. This, I know he's under a love spell, but doing this at a game in front of Aubrey, like she's a cheerleader.
Crazy. I
This
know.
is-
He's like, "I love you, Mal. Did I mention that?" And Audrey just runs off. Like, what the fuck?
No, like this is terrible of Ben to do.
Yeah,
I do genuinely feel bad for Aubrey.
I do
Alright,
that.
give
Yeah.
it 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Um,
she's awful, but
I know. She
Just
quickly
fucking
moves
go.
on immediately because she's pissed because she never cared about Ben.
no.
She cared about the status. But yeah, give me a beat. And then the band pulls out their kazoos.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Why do they start it in Spanish?
Oh, the Doug! Why does Doug speak Spanish?
Canoning that I guess the dwarves are like either maybe they're from Latin America.
Doug is just white?
Hey,
Yeah, Doug pulls out his kazoo to give Ben a beat, and so we get that. So yes, he sings "Did I Mention That I'm in Love with You?"
Yeah, he kazoos it.
Right.
The band kazoos it while he's singing.
Okay.
Doug is in the back on kazoo.
Kazoo.
But Doug still says,
One of those trains, yeah. I love this song. I think it's so fun. Mitchell's Hope Dancing is a little bad,
Correct.
and it's not him singing.
No.
So what's up with that? But I still love this number. I think it's very fun. The choreography is cute. Kenny Ortega, especially like Cameron Boyce. He fucking
Cameron Boyce is
He kills it.
Yeah.
He's so good.
He looks like he's having a great
Yeah.
time.
And they spell, remember? RIDICULOUS.
Their bodies spell it.
Yeah, their bodies spell it too. When we first saw this, we like, I don't know, it's really hard to nail the
yes.
RIDICULOUS. Now I just know it because I've sang the song so many times, but it was hard at
No, we were like RICI.
RIDI. Wait,
No, it was really like it was pitiful.
it was pitiful.
It was like 6 people in a room trying to do it, and it was bad.
But now I know how to spell ridiculous. Always and forever.
No, literally, I do spell it at work sometimes, and I just do RIDICULOUS.
Wait, are you telling people at work that they're ridiculous?
Well, I say things are ridiculous at work. Yeah.
It's literally like the banana song from What's the Fun? I don't know how to spell
I know.
bananas.
BANANAS.
Remember when he rides the horse?
Yes,
I was literally 2 people in a costume riding it.
like that poor guy's
The
neck.
guy in the back, his neck and shoulders are dead.
My God. Yeah. But it's fun. And then he like fucking crowd surfs. He gets like launched into the crowd.
He gets turned into a cheerleader. He like is becoming a fly girl and then gets launched into the crowd.
Yeah.
Seems dangerous.
Yes.
And it's all for Mal. And he crowd surfed to Mal at the end of the song. And he goes in to kiss her, but she's like, "Oh, no, no, no."
You know the reason she doesn't kiss her? Or kiss him?
Because it would be true love.
It would be true love's kiss spell go away.
The love spell would go away.
Yep.
And she just put him under.
So then Audrey shows up and grabs the mic and says, "Chad's my boyfriend now, and I'm going with him to coronation."
Grabs the mic.
She grabs the mic. She's like, "This has to be about me somehow."
Yeah.
Chad's my boyfriend, and then she kisses Chad. She kisses Chad on the mouth.
Like
With
full on
That's crazy.
goes for it.
And then Ben just takes the mic back because he doesn't give a fuck about Audrey. He's like,
That's a direct quote.
He literally is like, Mel, go to the coronation with me.
and she says, "Yes." Yeah, and she said, "Yeah."
Why not Audrey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
crowd's all into it. Everyone loves the VKs.
they do. They're like, "Hell yeah, you love Mal. We're into it."
It's only ever an issue when like Audrey's grandma comes in.
It's basically the generation that was directly affected is the ones who have an issue with it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, which is
Which makes sense.
one generation. Yeah. So whatever. But then the boys leave, and Evie's sad about Chad because she was into Chad, and now he's with Audrey. So Mal says, I feel really sorry for Audrey. I feel like if she were talented like you and know how to sew and beauty tips, then she wouldn't need a prince to feel better about herself.
Oh my God, Mal, are you saying that about Evie?
Yeah.
Wow.
I am pretty talented. And Mal says you definitely are, yeah. Yeah. And then Jay wins MVP and gets a giant ass trophy.
As mentioned.
So now we're back in
Did
chemistry.
you mention?
Did I? So then in science class, chemistry, Evie can't find her mirror in her bag. And the teacher says, looking for something. And he has the mirror. And we learn that Chad snitched on her. And it's probably because she probably stopped doing his homework when he got a new girlfriend.
Yeah.
So the teacher's like, I recommend that you be expelled. And Doug comes in and says, that's not fair. She obviously wasn't cheating. She didn't have the thing. Maybe she was just looking for a pencil. And Evie keeps being like, I was looking for it. And he's like, stop helping.
He's like, really don't help.
Don't help. And teacher's like, all right, if you can pass the test, I'll return the mirror and drop the matter. And so then outside after the test, Evie shows Doug that she got a B+. For the first time, it feels like she's more than just a pretty face.
Wow.
She knows chemistry. She knows Amu.
She knows Amu.
And they get a little flirty. They're like, maybe
All
we
that
can get an
study
A.
talk was really just hung out. No studying montage or anything.
No.
She did the homework while Mal was doing people's hair.
Yeah, but presumably she did the homework with the mirror.
Yeah, but that kind of helped her learn it, probably. And she just remembered well enough to get a B+. She's smart. They get flirty, and then Mal comes over and freaks out because Ben asked her out on a date. So Evie's like, all right, we got this. And so Evie does Mal's makeup. And they talk about their moms a little bit because they're scary sometimes.
Disney villains as moms.
Yeah, and Mal's like, I just want my mom to be proud of me. And then Mal goes and looks at herself in the mirror, and she looks not hideous. Not even a little bit.
She didn't look hideous before.
So I'm like, that's kind of hilarious because I'm like, at no point in the movie do you ever get the impression she's hideous.
I know. Now she has blush on.
Like, Dove Cameron has the perfect complexion.
I know, but then she had surgery, like injections and shit. And changed her face a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she still looks beautiful, but yeah. And then Ben picks her up for the day, and they, he shows up at the door, and he says, for the first time, I understand the difference between pretty and beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, it's later. Okay.
So they ride on Ben's bike to the date spot.
Yeah.
And they're walking in the woods across this really big bridge, and they talk about their middle names. Mal's middle name is Bertha, and Ben's is Florian.
Crazy first name.
Crazy first name, Ben.
Yeah. First name, bang. Yeah.
I was gonna say, wasn't one of Sleeping Beauty's like fairy godmothers Florian, but it's Flora.
Yeah, Florian is Snow White's prince. So then they get to the picnic spot. And it's so beautiful. And
It's like a little gazebo on the water on the lake.
it's really cute. And then they're eating, and Ben's like, is his first time. And she's like, we don't really date on the aisle. It's more like gang activity.
Which is
very erasure.
This is literally like the craziest one-liner. It's more gang activity.
Yeah. And he said, I meant eating a jelly donut. And she's like, isn't that bad? And he tries to kind of get a crumb off her lip, but it doesn't work. So
It's supposed to be this romantic, cute moment, but it's just he's putting his thumb on her words.
yeah, and then she just licks it away. And he's like, I don't know much about you. Tell me something. And Mal's like, well, I'm 16, I'm an only child, and I've only ever lived in one place. And Ben says, me too. We have so much in common already. And Mal says, trust me, we do not. And now you're going to be king. And he's like, yeah, the crown doesn't really make you a king. She says, yeah, it does. And he says, well, your mom's the mistress of evil. And my parents are the poster for goodness or whatever. And he's like,
again, you could pick better Disney characters for the poster of goodness.
But we're not automatically like them. We get to choose who we're gonna be. And right now, I can look into your eyes and tell that you're not evil.
Well, that's because she's not using her evil eyes. That
Yeah, she has
literally
specific
has-
evil eyes.
Yeah, when they had that, her and her mom had like a
Yeah.
struggle for dominance at the beginning of the
Yeah.
movie.
But
Oh, sorry.
oh my god.
I was gonna say, I like at this point, I'm like, it just feels like Ben would, like Benji said, would have liked Mal regardless of the love potion. So when the next thing happens, I think this was deliberate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you liked her anyway.
So the next thing he suggests is deliberate.
The swim.
Yeah, because it's
The Enchanted Lake.
yes.
That's crazy. Yeah, so Ben's like, let's go for a swim. And Mal's like, no, thanks. I'm gonna try a strawberry. And they're really good.
And honestly, that's my reaction to strawberries too. Yeah.
She just like devours them, honestly.
And he says, "Don't eat them all."
Yeah, and I honestly
There's
like
like a huge bowl.
watching her like eat those strawberries so fast. Honestly, it just kind of makes me uncomfortable. So she's like, oh. I'm like, oh, girl, you really like strawberries.
He's never had them before.
And then Ben jumps in the lake, and he has little crowns on his shorts, and he goes roar.
They're like beast face and crown.
No.
And he had a pin of that on him too.
It's
It was
everywhere. It's
yeah.
like literally Beast got elected king, and he's like the whole
This
country. The whole country is about to be.
This is
Seville.
this is my entire personality. now.
Yeah, me as a
What
beast.
was the name? Aradon.
I don't know.
Aurora Dawn.
Aurora Dawn. I don't know.
We know they're not that creative with names because we've seen all the kids.
True.
True.
So then, while Ben is swimming, Mouse starts singing.
No.
A million thoughts in my head, so let my heart keep listening. So this song really grew on me. It's like Avril Lavigne ballad. It's so good. But here's the thing: they cut the song down. Like if you listen to it on like Spotify or the CD, there's a whole other verse that they just don't have in the movie.
Which would have added.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in the movie,
They didn't have the footage for it.
This is something I've noticed every time in the movie.
it's a series of flashbacks of the whole movie, including flashbacks of the scene that happened like 2 minutes ago.
And whenever they just showed Dove Cameron singing, it looks wrong.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
it looks out of sync.
It is the only part of the movie that I've consistently, every single time I've seen it, I'm like, this is out of sync. And Kelsey brought up a good point when we were watching this time. Like, the sound mixing just feels off. It doesn't sound like she's singing it live at all.
No, it sounds too much like it's in a studio and not at all like she's out on a lake. I think that's
It's
a lot
the
of
worst
it.
production of the song, for sure.
Oh, and it's so sad because it's such a good song. And I love how she like spins around and she flails her arms around, so dramatic. And the whole song is just about her being conflicted about her feelings.
I can't decide what's wrong, what's right.
Which way should I go? Only I knew what my heart was telling me.
Yeah, she can't parse her feelings.
Yeah, it's a good song.
It's so
And
good.
then in the CD version, you can hear a male like harmony. I'm like, is that Ben? It sounds like Jeff Lewis, who's singing for Mitchell Hope.
But Ben is supposed to be swimming.
I know. So like, is he off in the distance? Like,
I feel like it should have been that got cut differently. They weren't even going to have the flashbacks or anything. And then, like, something plot-wise changed. It was like Ben going to go swim at this moment.
maybe.
And then they, like, reframed everything to make it work. In post.
Maybe?
This is where he came back on, not under the love potion.
I don't know. But then the whole next scene happens.
Yeah.
So it's weird. But anyway, I love the song. I wish the scene was better, but that's okay. So then, after singing, Mal realizes that she doesn't know where Ben is. So she just kind of walks into the water, which is like ankle deep, but then it gets a little deeper. But she can clearly still stand.
And then she just
She
like
just
frips.
starts drowning.
She starts drowning.
You're gonna go in water.
Yeah, her head never goes underwater at all. The top of her head is dry. But Ben has to save her.
And he comes out of nowhere.
And he just
He really
swims
does come out of
out of
nowhere.
nowhere. And he picks her up.
Also, I'm sorry. The water is crystal clear.
It is.
So
It's Enchanted Lake.
she could clearly see that he was not like in there.
Yeah. Well, he was swimming from a distance.
I guess maybe she was like, he's been under too long, I guess.
I don't know. So he like brings her up and she goes, "You scared me." And he's like, "You can't swim?" And she says, "No." He's like, "You grew up
You
on
live
an
on an
island
island.
with a barrier around it. And he's like, "But you still tried to save me." So now he doesn't have the spell on him. Spoiler alert. He doesn't have the spell on him anymore. And he's like, "Oh my god, you still trying to save me because you care about me." And he's like, here's a sparkly rock that I found for you.
With a very bad editing on it.
Make a wish and throw it back in the lake. And she just chucks it back in the water.
This rock never comes back or anything. It's a little bit, but like it's very random.
So funny the way she throws it. She as hard as as hard as she can swings it down into the
It's
water.
so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, this rock doesn't come back. Like, what was he doing
That
with this
wasn't
rock?
making a wish. It was just guys like rocks, you know.
He's like, "I found this sparkly rock."
You know,
That explained where he was.
penguins do that. They bring their partner a rock.
Oh, are they penguins?
So he's a penguin.
They're just penguin.
I want to see the penguin sodas.
Yes.
So no, it doesn't work.
Someone do fan art of Mal and Ben's penguin sona.
If you do, we'll show it on screen on the next episode.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
Let me get started on that.
They sit back down, guys. Shut up. This is the best scene. This scene's so romantic, guys. I'm back. So they sit down, and Ben says, "Mal, I told you that I loved you. What about you? Do you love me?" And Mal says, he looks away, says, "I don't know what love feels like."
I don't know what
Stop!
love
Stop!
is.
Stop! This is my scene. Ben grabs her chin and faces her towards him and says, "Maybe I can teach you."
I want you to show me.
This is where their chemistry is off the fucking charts. Do y'all not agree it's the most romantic thing you've ever seen?
I thought it was cringy the way he said it.
It was romantic.
It's still Mitchell Hope at the end of the day.
I'm sorry, Mitchell.
Come on the podcast, defend yourself.
My God,
I want to go through your mind what you were trying to do.
What? Oh, Mitchell Hope.
Yeah, not
You're talking to me.
I'm trying to do the
I'm looking at
podcast.
Mike.
Okay, so we go to goodness class. Fairy godmother mentions that Sunday is
It's
family
the
day.
same questions as before.
It's like they didn't
They didn't worth James LaProp.
Yeah. Yeah. So fairy godmother mentions that Sunday's family day, but their parents can't be here for reasons. And so they do a video call. So then they video call with the evil parents, and Maleficent teases fairy godmother about "Oh, you're gonna go turn an eggplant into a carrot. And, oh, you really couldn't. Yeah, you really couldn't give Cinderella till 1 a.m. Really, the hamsters had to go back on their wheels. That was funny.
They were mice. Put that pumpkin into a carrot.
She was very offended.
Yeah. So the kids talk to the parents.
I kind of wish the movie had more of that banter with it.
Yeah.
I feel like that was something that is missing with it here. It was pretty funny. Just more roasting of the general Disney plots where you can have these villains talk about different aspects of each other's plots.
So Maleficent says, "Oh, how much longer must mommy wait to see you?" And Mal's like, "Oh, the coronation, on Friday, probably after that." So it's code for when is this gonna go down? And then Corella sees that Carlos has a dog, and she's like, "Oh, he'll be perfect size for earmuffs." And Carlos like, "He's a perfect size for a pet.
Yeah.
He's my dog, and I love him." And then the parents start arguing with each other. Jay never talks to Jafar during this, by the way, because Evie and her mom interact too a little bit. But yeah, they just start fighting, and Jay turns off the video chat, and they're all just kind of disappointed. They're like, "Our parents suck." Isn't that sad?
And fairy godmother feels bad.
Yeah, she's like, "I'm sorry, you guys," and they're like, "It's okay. Thanks for the surprise." And then they're walking away, and Evie's like, "Mal, what do you think our parents are gonna do if we don't pull this off?" And Mal's like, "I think they're gonna be quietly disappointed in us, but ultimately proud of us for doing our best."
Aww.
Really? No, we're definitely goners. So then in the dorms, they plan for the coronation day.
It's coronation day.
It's a castle coming.
Oh my god.
Mal's gonna take the wand, and then they're gonna like get a limo. Ugh, there you go. They're gonna get a limo, and Evie has like a spray to knock a guard out.
So they're sending Carlos to go steal the limo instead of the thief.
That's a good point.
They're sending Carlos, the person we have no inclination he even knows how to drive a car.
But he's the tech guy. He's computer boy. He knows cars, I guess. I don't know. What is Jay doing? Muscle?
I guess.
Beating guys up?
Looking intimidating.
Yeah.
He's to make sure they get out.
Yeah, make sure they get out. Yeah, and Evie will just knock a guy out with some spray. And then they're all just kind of uneasy, but they're gonna do it. And then Evie sees that Mal is gonna break Ben's love spell. What? And Mal's like, yeah, for after, when the villains do invade Oridon and loot and destroy all the things that are good and beautiful, Ben still being in love with me just seems a little extra cruel. So that night, Jay looks at his trophy and he's sad. And Carlos looks at Dude in his king-size bed and he's sad. And Evie looks at her B+ and she's sad.
In her twin size bed.
Her twin size
Her
bed.
twin extra long.
Yeah, her twin extra long and she's sad. And Mal makes what I thought was brownies, but later I saw that they were chocolate cupcakes.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
cupcakes.
this stuff not really looks like cupcake batter, but whatever. Also, later on, the cupcake that they give is the most store-bought cupcake I've ever seen.
Yep.
She made that.
Literally a mini cupcake from a store.
You just go get
magic. And she reprises "If Only" while crying into the cake mix.
Tears of human
She never
sadness.
cries.
She never cries, but she did now.
If only.
If only.
Play the intro again.
Be our guest, be our guest. Put our service to the test. Yeah, guess what? It's be our guest time. So they're at family day.
This is like the most filler of the movie ever.
Sing, sing, sing. They can dance, dance.
Oh, disease.
Yeah, so Ben's singing Be Our Guest with some of the other kids. So Audrey, Lonnie, Chad, Doug, and other people.
That's not a VCAP. That's funny.
Yeah.
The wheelchair girl is there.
Yes. And they're doing it for Belle and Beast as like a treat. So this originally, I watched like a little behind the scenes thing where this was just gonna be like a background thing, not important. But then Kenny Ortega started like doing choreography for it, and they made it like a thing.
I was wondering because like just this group, like this small group, like are they a choir? Are they in a choir class?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think that's a choir class. That's my headcanon.
All I gotta say is when Doug started breaking down, and I was like, "Go Doug."
Go Doug. Dylan loves Doug.
You're trying to make the scene better. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So then the VKs roll in. Carlos and Jay eat from the chocolate fountain. Ben takes a photo with his parents, and in the middle of taking the photo, he's like, "By the way, I have a new girlfriend." Like, oh, thank God, we hated Audrey.
Immediately start roasting Audrey.
Absolutely shit on Audrey. It's great.
It's like, don't you think that's a little too soon? You don't know anything about this new person, which is funny, but also like, what if it gets back with Audrey? Because it was very recent.
Yep.
I don't know. And they're like, "Do we know your new girlfriend?" And he's like, "Kind of." "Oh, hey, Mal."
The guy taking the picture goes, all right, say cheese in 3, 2, Mal.
Picture, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know." So then Ben introduces Mal to his folks as his girlfriend, and they're like, "Well, you should join us for lunch." And she's like, "Well, I also have my friends." "Yeah, let's all play croquet together." Cool.
This next section, Kelsey just wrote, racist grandma.
I meant prejudice.
Yeah, prejudice.
So they're like playing croquet a little bit. And then Audrey's grandma says hello to Mal, and she's like, "Have we met?" And it's like, "No, I don't think so." And then Audrey comes over, and she's like, "Oh my God, Grammy, you don't want to talk to her.
I don't want to talk to this girl.
Unless you want to have another 100-year nap." And then,
Oh, complete 180.
by the way, the grandma absolutely eats this role. She like did
I
so
know
much
she's
character.
one of my favorite minor characters within here. She fully commits to this bit and she performs it well.
Yeah.
So much
100%.
thought into like this character and her emotions.
No, I'm going to fully method act like this role and get the right performance
Yeah.
for this.
She-
I appreciate the effort.
She thinks that Mal is Maleficent for a second. She's like, "How did you stay so young?" But it's like Ben comes over and he's like, "No, it's okay. This is Mal." And don't you remember that I had a proclamation to give the children of the Isle a chance? And Grandma says, "A chance to what, Ben? Destroy us? Don't you remember all the poison apples and spells? My daughter was raised by fairies because of your mother. I missed her first steps and her first words. I missed it all." Like, damn, girl, you hell yeah. And then Chad comes in and he's like, "Yeah, these kids are evil." And he looks at Mal, he's like, "You stole another girl's boyfriend.
True.
And Jay, you enjoy hurting people."
Not really, but like,
Kind of.
I can see the connection.
yeah.
He doesn't say anything for Carlos because Carlos has got nothing.
so fucking innocent.
Like, you used to be scared of dogs. You adopted a stray dog. But instead, he turns to Evie and he says, "You are nothing but a gold digger and a cheater." And then Evie says, "Mirror, mirror in my hand, who's the biggest jerk in the land?" And shows that it's Chad.
But I think it just shows that the actual mirror portion is mirroring.
It's just like an actual mirror. It's still a good bit.
Yeah.
She's like, "Fuck you." And then he like hits her hand out of the way and Jay comes in like, "Don't touch her." And then Evie,
Because
they're like
Jade's such
in
a
physical.
team player.
Yeah. And then Evie sprays Chad with the spray to knock him out. And they're like, "Damn, look, see, they're evil. They're evil."
Wait, but where did Evie get that?
Oh, it was in the last scene where Mal's like, "Give this to knock out the guard."
Driver.
Yeah, the driver.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Also, it's like that whole scene is like they're not doing anything. The VKs are. They're just there.
No, it's the grandma who
It's
pulled the shit.
everybody else being dicks to them, basically.
Yeah.
They're just there vibing, and then all of a sudden it's all right. Let's rain on their parade today.
Yeah,
So-
you guys are dicks.
It's surprising that they choose to be good after this, honestly.
I know.
They don't
This
want
is
to be
the
bad.
part-
'Cause being bad makes them feel sad.
Yeah, this is the part where it's like, no,
Wow.
we do want to do this. We do want to be evil, so then they can again have a change of heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Beast tells Ben that he's like, "I feared something like this would happen." And Ben's like, "This isn't their fault." And Beast says, "No, son, it's yours."
So
Terrible dad.
Worst dad.
He sucks.
we've had worse DCOM dads.
He's so bad.
We've
though.
seen worse DCOM dads. We have this guy doesn't even make the F tier.
He's just so bad.
He doesn't even
Made
make
his
the D tier.
16-year-old son king.
Here's the stress of running a whole kingdom. Enjoy.
Enjoy. I'm gonna go golf.
Okay.
I'm gonna go croquet.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Oregon has a lot of space for golf.
Okay. Yeah, it's a big kingdom. You saw how big that beautiful park that Ben and Mal were at? No one was there.
True.
Yeah, but there was a lot of water.
Are we glossing over the fact you just said hip hip croquet?
I was, but
Okay.
Hip hip croquet.
That was funny.
So then Ben meets up with the BKs and they're all sad and Ben's like, "Don't worry about it. After the coronation tomorrow, it's all gonna be okay." And then he awkwardly leaves. And then Doug tries to talk to Evie, but Chad calls him away. I know you love Doug, but why the fuck did he go off with
this
Chad?
is the one moment I'm disappointed in Doug.
Yeah, but he doesn't even like
It's
Chad.
literally the one moment where Doug gave in to peer pressure and was not a good person.
Yeah, because now Chad and Audrey are like, "No, we do want the losers to hang out with us because we hate the VKs."
They're the real losers.
Yeah.
Even though we got all this fancy hair from them.
Yeah. Audrey and Jane walk by, and Audrey's like, "How long does she think that's gonna last?" Mal is just a bad girl infatuation. And Jane's like, "Yeah, I mean, he's never gonna make a villain a queen." And they laugh at her. Jane's a bitch now.
And Mal just goes,
Beware.
Stupid ass rhyme.
Beware for
Hey.
swear, undo
Undo
Jane's
this.
hair.
God damn.
And now it's a bob again. and
with a dumb headband.
with a dumb headband. And Mal gets up and she's like, "There's a lot more where that came from." And Audrey says, "Who do you think you are?" And Mal says, "Do I look like I'm kidding?" And she opens the book and they all run away. And then Mal says, "I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. Let's grab that wand and blow this popsicle
Stand.
stand." Why did I write core? It's probably because then they say, "I'm rotten to the core."
Blow this popsicle core.
Rotten to the core.
Rotten to this.
That's how you know there's a commercial break. All right,
There we go.
guys, we're in the final stretch.
Oh my
It's
God.
Coronation Day.
Holy shit. It's only been
Dang.
3.5 hours.
Dang, really?
It's been like almost 3 hours. So then it's Coronation Day. The villains back on the aisle are watching on TV. Snow White is hosting the red carpet.
Totally random.
And she's definitely had work done.
She's definitely had work done. Evil Queen throws popcorn at the TV.
I thought it was so funny.
So funny. And then
Popcorn's good. I don't
Ben and Mal roll in on a carriage, and Ben takes Mal's hand. And he says, "All you have to do is sit there and look beautiful."
No problem for you.
And then Ben's like, "Mal, will you wear my ring?" And she says, "Not now." And then Mal's like, "Here's a cupcake.
It's a cupcake. Don't eat it now.
Eat it later." And he says, "Oh, that's so nice, but I can't wait." And he eats it. It's like, no.
I want to point this out just randomly as the point where now that we're here. We both thought it was a brownie mentally, but it's definitely a cupcake.
It is.
The Wikipedia page also says brownie.
Everyone assumed it was brownie because of the batter.
Yeah.
Probably. And it's brown.
But
Yeah.
and it's just a store-bought ass cookie.
It looks like brownie batter. Like the thickness and everything looks
Yeah.
like brownie batter.
Which, first of all, I feel like it should be a cookie again.
I feel like there wasn't much stuff I noticed this time that I didn't already know, but the one thing is like it wasn't a brownie. It was a cupcake. So she freaks out because he ate it, and she goes, "Do you think do you feel okay? Do you think you still have strong feelings for me?" And he's like, not sure. Let's give the anti-love potion some time to take effect." Okay. Wait, what? You knew? And he laughs and he's like, "Yeah, you spelled me. You had a crush on me, but I was with Audrey and you didn't trust it would happen on its own, right?" And she's like, "Yes, yeah, that's definitely what happened. So how long have you known?" And he said, "Since their first date. The spell washed away with the enchanted lake." So she's like, "You've just been faking it?" And this is the other most romantic thing I've ever seen in my life. He puts the ring on her and he kisses her hand and he says, "I haven't been faking anything."
See, I'm with you on this one.
I'm also with
I'm like, this one, I'm like, that's smooth.
That was smooth as hell.
Yeah, but the last time was cringe.
Little bit.
It wasn't. It was supposed to romantic. This is like the only time Mitchell Hope I'm like, yes, it's like it's good chemistry with Steph Cameron. And every other time I'm like, why were you cast here?
I like in the next one when it's like slow. Did I mention?
That's the third one.
Oh, it's okay. The third one. Sorry.
They're gonna say, "I really want to be bad a lot."
Yeah, that part's my favorite.
Because it's hard.
Hey, we don't have to choose.
Yeah, we don't have to light the fuse. Yeah. Anyway.
So then Mal and Ben head up the stairs. They meet with Ben's parents. It's a little awkward. And they're like, "We're very proud of you, Ben. Keep listening to your heart. You'll make a fine king."
Listen to your heart.
And now it's time. Now it's time for the ceremony. Evie, Jane, and Carlos are up in the balcony.
Is Evie sitting with Doug?
No,
No.
they're fighting right now.
No.
They're fighting.
Right.
Doug was a little bitch who didn't stand up for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doug's the worst. Everyone here hates him.
Yeah, all my homies hate Doug.
All my homies hate Doug.
For 5 minutes.
Just give him like a couple minutes. He'll be fine again.
Yeah, he'll dance at the dance party and he'll be fine.
Once he starts busting the movie in, he's good.
Like, I'll forgive him.
I'll forgive you.
Especially with his long hair. I'm like, long hair.
Movie 3, Doug.
We'll get there later. Yeah, so Ben walks down the aisle and everyone bows and we're like, damn, that's green screened as hell. It doesn't look amazing. It doesn't look horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mal's near the front. Fairy godmother comes in and puts the crown on Ben. And the crown has a little beast face on it, okay? No one's else getting elected from this crown because they don't want the fucking beast head on it.
This is all fucking rigged.
Imagine they're like doing the election and they're like, yes, whoever wins gets to wear this crown that has a beast on it.
Well, he
Ooh.
probably got to design it.
No, I'm saying it was before that. And he's like, ooh, I wonder who should wear this crown that has my beast face on it. That'd be crazy if like Charming had that on or something. That would be weird. It'd probably be me. Everyone's like, whatever, beast, go for it. Anyway, so they take out the wand and tensions are high, right? Because we're like, oh shit, Mal's gonna go get the wand. This is crazy. Ben's being coronated. And then we see a hand take the wand and blast a magic shot onto the barrier. And the villains are like, oh my god, we're free. And Maleficent takes her staff and flies out of there.
She just ditches everyone. She's like I'm out.
They can't fly in they can't turn into smoke and get out of there. So I'm assuming that it was just like open for a second and then she got out.
It looked like there was a hole in it.
Yeah. And so she got out that way because then it's kind of fixed later. I don't know. So guys, who do you think has the wand? It's definitely Mal, right?
So Mal, she's the only one that was ever talking about taking the wand.
It's
It's Aladdin.
It's Aladdin. And both Jasmine and Aladdin call us Aladdin
together. No.
Magic carpet ride.
Oh my god. It was Jane. Jane took the wand. This was a crazy plot twist.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not when you think about it for like 2 seconds, but watching it for the first time, it's like, holy shit. Jane?
Yeah, I did not call Jane being the villain person in this moment.
Yeah, that was.
You think it might be like Audrey or something.
Yeah.
But like, look at all these people like, oh, you couldn't be next to there. The only people up at the coronation is my girlfriend.
Well, then, of course, fairy godmother's there, and then she can have her daughter.
Just ran up the aisle or something.
Yeah. That's, like, the odds of her, like, grabbing the wand and accidentally hitting the barrier to the aisle is crazy.
That was crazy.
Maybe it's really, like, that's the easiest spell to do.
It was an accident, yeah.
Secretly, she was just like, you know what? I'm going to give him a chance to be good. I'm going to blow apart the barrier and see what happens.
It was radical politics.
Yeah.
So yeah, she can't really handle the wand's power. She's like, "Oh, beautiful," and she's flailing it around, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, what do we do?" And then Mal just takes it from her, and Jane runs away. And then Ben's like, "Mal," and she says, "Stand back." So she has the wand now, and he's, "Oh my god, I better stand back." And Audrey goes, "I told you so," and she's like, "Fucking stand back!" Like she has a gun in her hand.
Yeah, she's literally like so desperate about it. Like it sounds like good acting. It sounds so desperate. She's like, stand back. Like it's so good.
It's good. And then the other VKs come down and like, let's go, revenge time.
They're running down, yeah.
And Ben says, "Do you really want to do this?" And Mal says, "We have no choice."
You really want to be bad a lot?
Because it's hard being something you're not.
We have no choice. Our parents. And Ben says, "Your parents made their choice. Now you make yours." And Mal looks around at everyone. And she says, "I think I want to be good." And Ben says, "You are good." And she says, "How do you know that?" And he says, "Because I'm listening to my heart." He says, "I want to listen to my heart too. And my heart is telling us that we are not our parents. Stealing things doesn't make you happy, Jay. Turning in victory pizza what the team does.
Yeah.
And Carlos, scratching dude's belly makes you happy."
There's nothing that makes people that make you happy.
Yeah, exactly. And Evie, you do not have to play dumb to get a guy. You were so smart. Mal's like, "I want to go to school and be with Ben because Ben makes me really happy." And she shows the ring. It's so cute.
Tearing up.
And she says, "Just being friends makes me happy too, not destroying things. I choose good, you guys." She puts her fist in, and they're all gonna fist bump each other and be good.
Good to the core.
Yeah, and Carlos is the only one that hesitates, not because he likes being evil, but because he's like, aren't our parents gonna like fucking kill us?
Yeah.
And Ben says, "Your parents can't reach you here."
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
The movie.
Yeah, we did it, guys. We're good. Oh, just kidding. Maleficent's here.
Of course.
Whoops.
Go away, mother.
Go away, mother.
What? Mother? No.
She sounds so annoyed. Like
She is. She's just like, "Go away, mom." She's not even questioning how she got here.
no.
It's like, "God damn it, mom."
She's like, of course. Of course.
And Maleficent's like, give me the wand. And Mal tosses it to Fairy Godmother instead, who goes bibbity bobbity, and Maleficent goes boo. And she freezes everyone with her staff. So her staff is also really powerful, but can't break the barrier.
Well, yeah,
See, and that's my logic thing is couldn't break the barrier because it's inside with her.
But now it's outside.
all I'm gonna say is
And the
this
barrier.
whole climax from the point Maleficent shows up just starts feeling weird and like it's a part of a different movie to me.
Yeah.
Just like the plot of it and the action sequence just feels wrong. And now that everyone's frozen except the VKs and Maleficent, like we don't get to hear the public react to the big terror or anything, so it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like a legit threat.
It's a weird climax where everyone's frozen. So, yeah, everyone's frozen except for the VKs and Maleficent. She grabs the wand. She says, where should we start? How about getting rid of this? And she rips the ring off Mal's finger with magic.
Rude.
And Mal's like, you don't know what I want, Mother. You never ask what I want. I'm not you. And Maleficent says, you'll be evil. You'll get there. And Mal says, no, I will not. And I really wish you hadn't gotten there yourself. Love is not weak or ridiculous. It's actually really amazing. And Maleficent says, you have no room for love in your life. And then Mal says, I command wand in my hand or something.
Oh yeah, I command wand to my hand.
And that works.
It's so dumb.
I don't know.
Apparently magic in this world is just making some rhymes.
And Carlos is like, maybe good really is more powerful. And so they try to stop Maleficent, and she turns into a dragon.
Bad
Which
CG.
apparently took 2,000 hours to animate, right?
Yeah, that's what it said. I don't buy that. But on
No.
IMDb it said 2,000 total hours to animate. Maybe everyone working on that, and it's like a 30-person team. Took a
Yeah.
day.
Well, like, if they each take an hour, then that's like 2 hours.
All right, you're
Like-
taking the left wing. I'm taking the right wing. You got tooth 1. You
I-
got tooth 2.
I took the horn on her head. The right
It doesn't
one.
even look good after all that time.
No, it's not that good.
It's horrible, though. It's not amazing, but it's a DCOM. Like,
Yeah, it's still low budget.
Like it doesn't look good in the background with
Yeah, the background looks worse than like the actual dragon does. But yeah, so they fight with the dragon, and Evie uses the mirror to shine a light because apparently it can do that. And Jay tries to like punch it or something. I don't remember. He runs around, but Maleficent says, "This is between you and me, Mother." And she says, "The strength of evil is good as done when stands before 4 hearts as one." And they have a green-eyed staring contest again, but this time, Mal wins.
Oh my god, she grew!
Maleficent disappears into smoke, kind of. And Fairy Godmother at this point unfreezes, but nobody else does. I don't know how that happened.
She's just that strong.
Yeah. And she's like,
The
oh.
power scaling in this universe is wild.
She's like, oh yeah, Maleficent is now the size of the love in her heart. So she's a little bitty lizard.
like a gecko.
Like a gecko. She's gonna sell insurance now.
Get a British accent.
Yeah. So yeah, Maleficent's a lizard, and Mal's like, "Will she be like that forever?" And Fairy Godmother's like, "Well, forever's a long time. You learned how to love. Maybe she can too."
They really are
Well-
teasing like she'll be back, but then she's never back.
She's not back.
She's gonna learn to love as a lizard.
She'll lick her eyeballs and understand.
And then Mal gives back the wand, and Fairy Godmother gives back the ring. And Fairy Godmother says, you all get an A in goodness class.
Huzzah! What a good final exam.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo! Everybody unfreezes. And they all like kind of go back like the rah, like we're freaking out.
He was actually in the fight of fight or flight, and he was
Yeah.
trying to turn into a beast.
He was.
He went. "Rah."
But Mal calms Ben down and says, oh yeah, everything's been wrapped up here. So like, they don't know what happened.
No.
Because that's Fairy Godmother, no.
I don't know. That doesn't make sense.
Oh.
But, I don't
I'm not
know.
gonna trust the VKs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Maleficent's a little lizard now, so something happened.
Well, that could just be a little lizard. That doesn't have to be.
But
Maleficent.
it's purple.
And it's green as well a little bit.
In the
Oh.
next one, it's way more green, which is weird. But yeah. Anyway,
See, her love is growing.
Ben swings Mal around in a big hug. That's cute. And he says, "Next time I save you, okay?" And Mal says, let there not be a next time." And then she goofs up his crown.
Yeah.
And then fairy godmother is like, "Oh, Jane, you're in big trouble. You're in a major timeout." And Mal goes over and she says, "Don't be too hard on Jane. I was the one who put that crazy stuff in her head." And she looks at Jane. She says, "You are beautiful inside and out. Your mom got that right." And Jane says, "I guess I did get pretty lucky in the mom department." And I was like, "Yeah, no one's a lizard now."
Jane was just roasted her mom earlier, and then was so trying to rebel against her mom that she caused the whole issue. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so then Mal and Audrey just kind of like curtsy at each other and smile. So I guess that's fine now.
I was gonna say that Audrey's dress for this, it looks a lot like Aurora's dress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cute.
I was like, that's cute.
Yeah, so they just kind of are like, "Okay, I guess we're good."
They don't even talk. They're just okay.
Yeah.
Unspoken truth.
Which means they're not actually that good. Because, I mean, Audrey fucked off for the next movie.
Yeah, Audrey's not in Descendants 2, but let me say, when she comes back in Descendants 3, I don't know if they're good.
I don't think they're good anymore. I think she gets mad all over again.
Yeah.
She's fine for the party, though.
I mean, if I remember correctly, she went to a spa. If I
Yeah.
says to the reflection she had while there was not positive.
Yeah. Okay, and then a guard puts like a glass over the lizard, and Mal's like, "Be careful!" My mom. And then they say, "Let's get this party started." Away, away.
Yeah, they're really just randomly in the middle of this coronation go, way, oh, way, hey. And then they transition.
And then everybody's dresses are immediately like the same but shorter.
Shorter. They
Yeah.
do that in the next one too.
Yeah.
Where it's like, let's take the top off and make it shorter so we can dance.
Yeah, like take the cape off or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, so then there's fireworks and a big party outside, and we get the last song, Set It Off.
Set It Off is the most generic DCOM song I've ever heard. Not necessarily DCOM, ending pop song to a musical.
Yes. It's pretty fucking generic.
It's very similar to All for One, and it follows all of the same, like...
They do say the kingdom's ours. And they say, "Kings and queens, it's our time to rise." So generic? I think not.
Generic sounding. I'm not saying that we don't access
No, I was making a joke. It is generic. This is us taking back the night. Away, away.
It's passable, and that's it.
I love Evie dancing, though. With Doug. She dances with Doug. And they kill it. They absolutely kill it. And they're having a blast.
And that's when you forgive Doug. That scene right there.
Yeah. Set it off. Oh, yeah.
Well, or is it the scene where, they're hugging at the coronation? Chad and Doug are hugging.
That was good.
So is it that part where we forgive them, or...
And then like the whole scene, Jay is like trying to find someone to dance with. It feels
He
like
dances with
It's
Audrey.
really good, because he did
Audrey's a lot, yeah.
there are the theoretical ships that happen within here are obviously Ben and Mal, Doug and Evie.
Yeah.
Carlos doesn't really dance with anyone.
Carlos dances with Jane.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's what ends up.
That's
and that makes sense. Why in the world would there ever be a reason? Stop stepping on my computer. Kelsey, sorry. Kelsey was just getting up on the table and stepping all over my keyboard.
Kelsey.
No, it was the cat.
Kelsey, no.
Stop gaslighting the cat.
Oh. But yeah, they put Jay with Audrey, which makes no sense to me when Lonnie is right there.
Lonnie
and
dances
a way
with Chad.
more reasonable.
Yeah, Lonnie dances with Chad and Audrey
Why can't
dances with
Chad
Jay.
be with Audrey?
Yeah, that's how it should be. They like kissed in this movie.
Yeah, even if they're not like super together, they're still together at this point.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. They didn't know what they wanted to do. They're like, let's have Audrey flirt with Jay and dance with him. What? And also, Ben and Mal get close to kissing a couple times, but they don't.
It's not. You're not allowed to do that until a sequel.
They're not allowed to do that until a sequel. Ask Kenny Ortega. Because he made these movies.
He made the rules.
He made them rules. Start a chain reaction. Never let it stop. We'll set it off.
Oh,
yeah. You can make it happen. Away, away. It's time to set thing off and get started now. Carlos and Jay like kind of have a little rap moment. It's fun. Mal and Ben end up on the balcony, and everybody kind of bows to them, and they almost kiss, but they don't, and there's more fireworks. And then Mal narrates, "Oh, I was having so much fun, I almost forgot." And she looks at the
I feel like,
camera
yeah, it turns around.
with the green eyes. And
Yes.
she says, "You didn't think this was the end of the story, did you?" And then the iPad book closes, and that's the end of the movie. And that's Descendants.
And no, then the credit scene, the credit song.
The credit montage with the Shawn Mendes.
Shawn Mendes song.
Shawn Mendes song. So that's Descendants. I freaking love this movie. And the reason I think I love it is more so because of the franchise it turns into. Like, this movie is good, but I love Descendants as a whole franchise.
You liked the sum of the parts more than each individual.
Exactly.
There's
But I
no-
do think after watching this again, the second one is the best one.
I went in thinking Descendants 1 is probably the best one, and I went out not thinking that out of the trilogy. I still think it's good.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the tippy top tier like I may have been initially convinced it was beforehand,
Mm-hmm.
because I just think it falls into pitfalls I didn't remember it falling into, but it does have undeniable charm and undeniable stuff like that. But the music also just is very hit or miss.
Yeah, with the first one. Like, really, this first one is just like they're trying to find their footing, and they find it by the second
I
one.
do think the story they're trying to tell is more interesting than they do in the second, but the second one is just way more consistent.
Dylan's offended by that.
I like the second one. It's my favorite one of the three, so
I think I like the second one.
That would be my guess. Yeah,
I'm not.
three is worse than both of them. Not that it's bad, but I think 3 is like this.
3 is fun.
I'm excited to look at them again.
It's just I feel like they get too many characters in these.
I think like my thing with like all of them is like 1, they were trying to find their footing. 2 is like the most well-rounded, and then 3 is just due to certain things happening. Obviously, it didn't get the resolution. It kind of felt
Yeah.
rushed and pushed more than
Which
anything.
is weird because they didn't have to be rushed
Yeah.
and pushed, but it does kind of end up being that way. Yeah. And then Rise of Red is a shit show.
Yeah.
Rise of Red is a masterpiece.
Rise of Red
No.
again is a film that is unlike any other film I have seen, DCOM or not, the most fundamentally flawed film I've ever watched.
Yeah. Oh, so bad.
I have never watched to the end of a movie and been like, where was the rest of the movie? Until that movie.
Your movie's like, oh, it just kind of ends. This is not that. This is clearly missing stuff.
Mm.
And that's not even the only problem.
Yeah,
But we'll get there.
but it's not the end of the story.
Right.
Well, I
Yeah.
didn't think that was the end of the story, did you?
Well, I kind of did.
All right, what film are we watching next?
Oh, no. First, final Jank House ranking for Descendants was 6.
Wow. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's stuck up there. I will say, like, the first time I watched it for the first time, not with the house, and I was actually the person who was like, "You should watch
Yeah.
Descendants."
Yeah, no, you were pushing for it.
Yeah, because I'm like, I really like it, and then at the time, it became number 1. So
Yeah, okay, and here's what's crazy about our Jank House ranking. Descendants 2 is lower than both of the other two.
right, but because we had a better time watching Descendants 3.
Descendants 3 was like,
Essentially,
we were all
the
together.
top of the list the entire time until our last re-ranking.
Yeah.
Finally
It's
convinced
because it
everyone.
was so fun. Like, everybody was there for it, and we had such a good time watching it. Even though, like, looking back, like, you know, watching it again, it's like, okay, it's not as good as some of the other ones, but, like, we were all there and had such a good time.
Like
That's why it was higher.
this was definitely much higher on my personal, like individual one.
Uh-huh.
Until I've actually rewatched it with like a critical eye to like just take a look at like, okay, how is this movie actually?
Yeah.
I would
Exactly.
rank this so much lower than where because I have this I think at like 5 or 6
Well, that's
overall.
Jank House is 6.
Yeah, but out of
Yeah.
40,
Yeah.
not all of them.
That's true. Yeah. BenG, you have it a little lower at 9.
It probably would drop to me probably 20-ish.
Wow.
Which is a very highly rated movie.
Okay, yeah.
This rewatch, some of the stuff I don't like about it, in none of the rankings, there's still good stuff. It's still a high rating. But I've noticed its flaws more.
Do you want to know where I have it?
You had it number 1, right?
No, I have it number 2.
Number two.
I had Descendants 2 as number 1.
Mhm.
Well, your true actual number 1 is when you have number 3.
Okay, well, here's the thing. My actual true number 1 is just all 3 Descendants movies together.
Yeah.
But if you ignore that, your true number 1 will be coming up in a future podcast.
Yeah.
In all fairness, I have never watched The Descendants not together.
Yeah, you never just watched Descendants 1?
Not
Until today.
until today.
Yeah, until today.
Like it's always been
marathon.
to pretty much just marathon through them because they're short enough. It's like it's 4.5 hours, roughly, 5 hours.
One like Lord of the Rings film.
Hilarious because we just watched the first half of Return to the King extended, and it's
3 hours.
2 hours and 45 minutes.
We have to watch the second half, like probably Monday.
Probably. But yeah, it's like having watched it just by itself, I'm like, oh, forget. It's kind of obvious you get carried by the second one a little bit, but
I
more.
love it. I like it all together. It needed to get its footing a little bit. But yeah, that's Descendants. Thank you guys for being here and joining us. I'm excited to go to the concert with you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Ecstatic.
Yeah. Eventually we'll cover Descendants 2 and 3 and Rise of Red, and I'm assuming you guys want to come back for all of those.
Yeah.
So yes, you guys will hear us talk about it more when eventually the wheel rolls it again. But now we got to figure out what our next DCOM is.
Before we do a bet, and you are required to join.
You have to bet on what the
What
next one's gonna be.
it's gonna roll?
You get $1.
You get $1 from everyone.
$3 this time. That's the highest stakes we've ever had. With the best
You
odds
guys
we've ever
haven't
had.
done Pixel Perfect, right?
No.
That's what I'm
You're
gonna
gonna play
guess.
Pixel Perfect.
Red.
Rise of Red? We can't watch Rise of Red
We
next.
roll it though.
No, he's saying you're gonna roll it, so then it's
Okay,
gonna
and then we'll
be
watch
Descendants
Descendants 2 and we'll do that one next.
Sure. I'm for it.
Because that's our rule with sequels. We just do the next one in the series.
Yeah.
Is Rise of Red really in the series?
And,
You
yeah,
wanna have watched
Yeah.
everything.
you need to watch the other two before watching Rise of Red.
I'm gonna say Proud Family movie.
Oh.
Shit. I'm gonna say Luck of the Irish.
Oh, my second guess, just for fun.
Oh, math.
You guys haven't done Smart House, right?
Nope.
Yeah, that.
That's really my second.
And you guys both have a side bet of Smart House.
Yes, side bet of Smart House.
All right. Let's spin the wheel. Holy fuck.
Oh boy.
What is it?
It's High School Musical 3.
Oh,
Ooh.
another Kenny Ortega.
Yeah. We would be, well, not completely finishing High School Musical because there's Star Pace Valley's Adventure, but like finishing the original trilogy of High School Musical.
Yeah, you know what? We can
Oh
do
my
this.
god.
I have opinions on High School Musical 3. And I'm gonna leave it at that for
I
right
can't
now.
believe we're doing like Descendants and High School Musical back to back. That's insane.
They're gonna be bangers.
banger to banger. Oh my gosh. Tune in 2 weeks to hear us talk about High School Musical 3. That's crazy. If you have thoughts on Descendants or any other movie, you can email us at becomduo@gmail.com or comment on YouTube or wherever else you want to comment. And thank you guys so much for listening. It's Kenny Ortega month. Let's go.
Yeah.
Kenny, if you want to be here for the next one.
Please, Kenny, come on our podcast. Yes, and thank you again, Bay and Dillon, for being here.
Yeah.
A pleasure.
And we'll see you guys when Descendants comes up or Smart House. I don't know if we have you big for it. Oh, Camp Rock 2.
Yeah, Camp Rock.
If we're gonna do all 3 High School Musicals before we do Camp Rock 2.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Hey, it's the wheel wants what the wheel wants.
Fate has chosen.
Okay, anyway. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Scenes from our next episode.
This is literally the film Kelsey and I have the biggest difference on an opinion according to the mathematical ranking of
Yeah.
these.
16 minutes left, gotta get done.
Wrong!
Working hard to breed.
Oh my god, is that the spinning tunnel from Inception?
Holy shit, makes me wanna scream.
Oh my god, is that fucker from Geek Charming?
Oh, what is he doing here?
Why are they trying to make a new Sharpay that's not interesting at all?
She's British.
Oh my god, she's British.
She's British. I want it all. Want it.
The boys are back.
The
The song
boys-
is bad.
High School Musical.
That's the most
Says we
Yeah.
We're not gonna be here next week.
But
You can join it.
the guests still talking about
Oh.
it. Or pretend like you are. We know these are fake segments. You can leave that part in.
Any thoughts on High School 3 before we close out?
Anything you want on the
It's a
record?
very meh movie compared to the other two.
Yeah, the High School Musicals franchise is banger, kind of shit. Eh.
Is Musicalception.
Mm.
Oh my god, Juilliard.
That's
She got
like Bolton.
She got into Juilliard.
Oh my god, we get 2 scholarships to Juilliard now. And you can only go if you get a scholarship, despite being fucking rich.
This isn't even a DCOM.
It's not even a team.
It's what you mentioned, and this is not a DCOM, but we are covering it.